Hello, everyone. It's Pops. Alrighty then. So today's subject is the New World Agenda. There's a lot of stuff we're gonna talk about, but I'm gonna put the StreamYard link in YouTube. I'll do that now. But I'm looking at this New World Agenda. I already knew about it, but I figured, what the heck? We got nothing else. We got to talk about something every show, right? So I figured this be a subject we could hit on, and we'll go from there. All right, so we got two people in the audience. Let's see who we got here today. And alrighty, who do we got? I don't know yet. All right. So I'm putting the link if anybody wants to join. Feel free. I gotta log into my account because everything is a password and security and all kinds of bullshit, right? So here we go. I'll put the link in there for you. Everything is a password and security. And let me see. All right, so the link's in there. So let's go over this New World Agenda. Let's see what's going on with this thing. All right, I got a roadmap of it, and we could go over it and check it out. All right, so I'm going to pull it up now. Here we go. Let's pull up their New World Agenda. And let's see. We got it here somewhere. All right, so here it is, New World Agenda. Let's show you all. Share screen. Here we go. So let's look at what this shit really means. Okay, so we got no poverty. We got a lot of different things. So to me, no poverty means that the government basically is going to be handing out, they're going to be handing out food stamps and all that, welfare dependence. That's what I think that is. All right, so we got number one, no poverty. Then we got zero hunger, right? So what they're going to do is they're going to make all types of different GMO plants. This is part of their agenda also. Then we got good health and well-being. That's going to be, forced magic potion shots that you have to get. All right. Everything's put basically under disguise. This all looks beautiful, doesn't it? It looks like, wow, no poverty. Well, how are you going to get the no poverty? You got to have welfare. How are you going to get the zero hunger? You got to have GMO. What is good health and well-being? What does that exactly mean? You're going to force me to take something I don't want? I think that's what that means. All right, let's see what else we got. Mass indoctrination, right? For quality education. So they're going to teach our kids all this bullshit that they want to teach them, kind of turn them into communists. That's what I think that's all about. So quality education. Gender equality. Yeah, all right, let's go with gender equality. Does that mean you could be anything you want to be? What are they really looking to do here? Gender equality. Are they looking to destroy the family unit? Because the way it's written down is it's the Almighty God, the father, the mother, and the children. That's the ranking system. So they want the woman basically to be head of the household also. And that don't work. I don't care what you tell me. That ain't working out so good, is it? Divorce rate, how's that working for us? Is that working out good? All right. So here we got clean water and sanitation. So what are you going to do? You're going to put fluoride in my water, tell me it's clean. Are you going to ration water? Maybe that could be what you're going to do, because you're not going to have enough clean water, so you're going to ration it. And then we got affordable and clean energy. Here we go. Climate bullshit. All right. I'm telling you, you're going to get clean energy. Going to have smart grids, surveillance, the whole bit. Decent work and economic growth. What does that really mean? Economic growth. They don't want us to own anything. Okay, you're not going to own anything. You're going to be basically leasing everything. You'll own nothing and be happy. Industry, innovation, and infrastructure. So what is this? Robots are going to take all our jobs. Is this slave labor? What is this industry and innovation bullshit? So you can have 1 million robots doing my job? Reduced inequalities. So reduced inequalities, basically they want to turn the whole world into some type of communism. What do you mean reduced inequalities? Where are you going with that? Sustainable cities and communities. Sustainable cities and communities. So make them more prison-like London. London's like a prison. I don't know if you know about London. You talk to English people, they'll tell you. There's almost a camera up their ass when they're walking in the street. So that's a sustainable city, you know. Responsible consumption and production. So they want to have a responsible consumption and production. It's basically they want to have a one world currency. You're going to have a social credit score. That's what this is all about. Climate action. All right, so we got climate action. So they want to get down to zero emissions, you know, zero carbon, which is bullshit because trees need carbon. But we'll get into it. There's pollution and then there's carbon. There's two different things. All right. So what they want to do, in my opinion, this is all opinions, is they want to control the grids. They want to give you basically, you're going to be rationed, power rationed. So you may get electricity. Most countries do it. America doesn't, you know, and European countries don't do it. But eventually it's going to get to them where you'll get electric 18 hours a day. The other 6 hours you won't get it. And then you'll get electric, you know, 16 hours a day and then 8 hours a day. So they'll keep rationing it. They call them rollouts. I lived in the Dominican Republic. They were doing it all the time. Only the rich didn't go through that. Like I was rich considered there, so I had private electric. All right. Life below water. So they want to control all the resources below the water. They want to control the fish. Life on land. They want to control everything on the land, control all the resources. You know, they talk about zero carbons, you know, and they're cutting down thousands and thousands and thousands of trees, let's say in Brazil. But that's okay, because that's how they make their money. Peace, justice, and strong institutions. What does that mean, strong institutions? Do we prepare for war? What are we doing? Like, what do you mean peace, justice, and strong? What there's peace? I don't see peace. And partnerships for the goals. Oh, this is a one world government. That's basically what that means. Now, listen to this guy. The UN and the World Economic Forum, they're merging. Okay? So this is even going to be worse of a nightmare. That means the World Economic Forum is going to have the UN to do its like basically enforcing. Okay, here it is. Listen to this guy.
This afternoon, the Secretary General and Klaus Schwab, the founder of the World Economic Forum, will witness the signing of a memorandum of understanding on a strategic partnership between the UN and the World Economic Forum, which outlines areas of cooperation to deepen engagement between the two institutions and to jointly accelerate the implementation of the 2030 agenda.
So they want to merge. So they could, did you hear what he said? Let's listen to it one more time. They want to merge so they can rapidly increase their agenda.
This afternoon, the Secretary General and Klaus Schwab, the founder of the World Economic Forum, will witness the signing of a memorandum of understanding on a strategic partnership between the UN and the World Economic Forum, which outlines areas of cooperation to deepen engagement between the two institutions and to jointly accelerate the implementation of the 2030 agenda.
So you heard it with your own ears, you know. Basically, they want to ramp it up. So they're going to merge. So now you're going to have UN enforcing World Economic Forum policies. Who is Klaus Schwab to dictate policy amongst all the people in the world? Why is this guy still even walking on this planet? Because years ago, a guy like this wouldn't exist anymore. Why is this guy allowed to get away with all this shit? I don't know. I don't know what's going on anymore. But anyway, that's their thing. Listen, they got everything simulated, man. They're ready. I mean, you know, I'm going to remove this. Hold on. Let me remove this one. Stop screen. I'm going to show you again. I mean, like, these people ain't playing. They got everything figured out, man. They're 10 steps ahead of us, you know. Here it is. I mean, they got simulated reserve and corridor to protect biodiversity as required by the UN and Biological Diversity Wildlands Project, UN, U.S. Maine. They got America gridded, okay? Where all the reserves are, where all the water lines are, buffer zones, highly regulated use, borders down here, military reservations. They got everything. Indian, they got normal use. Where's the normal use, man? There's not too much normal use there, right? So they got this shit all figured out. They're not playing. Okay. NAFTA, Biosphere Program. What is all this complicated shit? But anyway, let's go over their agendas. So goal 1 is to end poverty. I found this article in all its forms everywhere. The only answer to this plan offers eliminating poverty is redistribution of wealth. The document calls for equal rights to economic resources. That means government is claiming an absolute power to take away anything that belongs to you and to give it whoever it deems more deserving. That is government-sanctioned theft. There are only band-aids to solve nothing. Tomorrow, those bread lines will still need more. There is no single idea in these plans to give the poor a way to earn their own wealth, so they no longer need government handouts. The final result, a never-ending cycle of poverty that will consume the middle class. We see that happening now. They're trying to consume the middle class and make the middle class poor. Okay? If you don't see it happening, a lot of middle class people are starting to really struggle now. Goal 2, end hunger, achieve food security, and improve nutrition and promote sustainable agriculture. The UN documents go into great details. They're detailing enforcing sustainable farming tactics, which have been proven to force up the cost of food production while decreasing the yield. It is basically the old Soviet practice of the farm control that turned the breadbasket of the world into a non-breadbasket productive wasteland. If you notice, one of the big breadbaskets of the world that supplies Europe and Russia is Ukraine. So they're hitting that, right? They want to make more of a demand so they can control it better, and the prices are going to skyrocket. The document details the use of government-controlled seed and plant banks. So, you know, these people are looking at the documents. They know what they see. We're just looking at a little box that looks cute. Oh, you know, ensure food for everyone. No, this is not what they're doing. to ensure access and find fair, equitable sharing of benefits arising from the utilization of genetic resources and associated traditional knowledge as internationally agreed. In other words, our future food resources will be put into the hands of politically connected bureaucrats like Gates. Gates just bought the most farmland, right? Who have never been on a farm. Starvation on a massive scale will trim the population to sustainable levels. Look, their agenda is depopulation. Let's get real with it. It's a slow kill. Okay, they're going to do all different things to get this population down. Magic potions, starving people, famine, all kinds of shit. So here we go, number 3. Now, most of you don't want to hear it, but this is reality. Okay, so let's get to the reality part of life. And maybe you'll listen to this program today. Maybe there are a couple things that'll sink into your head. Maybe it'll help you out, prepare a little better. So healthy lives. They're going to control, and basically they want to tell us how we'll live and what we're permitted to eat. They're going to tell you that meat is no good for you. And you have to eat, plant meat, cockroach meat. Who knows what they're going to make? Meat will be out of the question, as raising herds will not be considered sustainable. But don't worry. The Obamacare will deal with predictable decline in health. That is sure to follow. So they don't want you to eat meat. They're going to tell you the cows are farting, they're killing the climate and all this bullshit. And you better eat some plants. And maybe we'll grind up some insects and we'll put that in your meat patty. Okay? Maybe you'll go to McDonald's and get a Big Mac cockroach burger. Ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. So they want to basically apply things to basically modify our behavior, practices. Yeah, they want to put chips in your brain. And values and beliefs to live in a global village. Yeah, they want us all living in little villages because that's how you control, that's what they're doing now. They're breaking everybody up into tribes. You're white, you're black, you're Spanish, you're a girl, you're a boy, you're a trans, whatever. They're just breaking us up into tribes. Okay, you're a Trump supporter, you're a non-Trump supporter, you support abortion, you don't support abortion. So they just keep narrowing it down to more tribes. Achieve gender equality, empower all women and girls. The rainbow flag flies. Okay? Look, if you believe in the Almighty God, you have to understand it's a power structure. It's the Almighty God, the Father, the Mother, and then the children. This has been going on for thousands of years. It's always worked. All of a sudden, we have now, they want the woman to wear the pants in the family, and there's a reason for it. Okay? They want to make men more feminine, and they want to make women more, alpha. And it's working. This is against the Almighty God, and this is against the law of nature. It's just the way it is. But that's another thing they want to do. All right, so they want to ensure everybody the availability of sustainable management. Do you see that word? Management of water and sanitation. They want to manage how much water you can get. Okay? And let me make sure this is MD. All right, let me put this up here. We'll get MD on here. All right. Is that you, MD?
Yeah, what's up, Pops? How's everything?
Good. All right. There she is. Your big sister's watching you, people. Yeah, so I'm going over, even though I know people know about this New World Agenda, but I'm trying to break it down a little better. When you read between the lines, MD, you'll see a lot of the stuff, what their real plan is. When you're telling me you want to manage the water.
Yeah.
There's a guy in, I played the video earlier. I don't know if you've seen it. The UN and the World Health Organization are merging now. to rapidly increase. I'll play the video. It's 30 seconds. Here it is.
This afternoon, the Secretary General and Klaus Schwab, the founder of the World Economic Forum, will witness the signing of a memorandum of understanding on a strategic partnership between the UN and the World Economic Forum, which outlines areas of cooperation to deepen engagement between the two institutions and to jointly accelerate the implementation of the 2030 Agenda.
So did you hear? Accelerate the implementation of the 2030 Agenda. They want to ramp it up.
Wow. That's you see the two guys in the audience, one guy isn't even paying attention. People won't give a shit, man.
No, of course everybody knows it's all bullshit, but they're gonna keep implementing laws. Eventually they're gonna make the UN like the hitman. You know, like maybe they'll come into America and start enforcing things against the American people with the UN, not with American army, because they couldn't do that. So how do you go around forcing people, let's say, to take something they don't want to? American soldiers aren't going to do it. It's against our Constitution. So you get a United Nations army to come here and do it.
Yeah, but they've done stuff against the Constitution anyway, so it's like people starting to see. Yeah, it's really it's crazy, man. You remember that movie Soylent Green?
Yep.
You know, that came out in the 70s, and it was set in the year 2022.
How sick is that?
Right? And what were they eating? There was no meat, was like a pleasure, and they were eating people in crackers, the Soylent Green.
But the people didn't know.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing behind it. The people thought they were eating, like, vegetables, and they were actually putting human flesh in there.
Yeah. I guarantee you, if people knew that today, half of them wouldn't even care. They're so zombified, man. It's just they are out to lunch, man. I look at it after being in the manosphere for a few years. I see it like crazy, man. It's just the people in the manosphere are fucking zombified. It's ridiculous.
They are. I mean, one of these agendas I was going over earlier was basically to put the woman, the equal agenity thing, is because they want women to be equal to men in every fashion, and that it doesn't work. Yeah,
it doesn't.
It don't work out. What you end up with divorce, broken families, and men walking away.
Yeah.
And you get, what do you get? A depopulation. You know? Because a real man ain't putting up with this shit.
Yeah. Well, they've been lowering the testosterone in men with the food.
Oh,
so a lot of guys are soy boys,
I know. That's my new line, soy boy. Even me, myself, I catch myself like, look, I was cooking the other day, right? And I was going to put some soya sauce in my food, and I'm like, should I put it? Is it going to, make me a soy boy? Like, this is how crazy I'm starting to get with this soy shit,
Yeah, the soy ain't good, man. The soy raises the estrogen. The only reason soy sauce tastes good is because of the salt.
Yep.
Yeah, you could just put salt in it, and just
everybody cut down on your soya sauce.
Yeah, all of that soy, man, because it's made with, soy. It's just a high estrogen plant, man.
And what population uses a lot of soy?
China.
There you go. And that's why you see what's going on in China. I think a lot of the men have lost their testosterone. They've all got too much estrogen in them.
Yeah, there's a lot of soyization going on.
Especially in Thailand. Woo!
Oh, ladyboy capital, man.
Yeah. So
there's a reason they call it Bangkok,
Oh, yeah. It was goal number 5. Achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. Empower. That ain't saying equal. It's saying empower. See, they said equality. Then they said and empower. So what does that mean? Empower. Yeah. What is the definition of empower? Let's look it up. All right. Empower definition. I want to look this up because I don't think it means equal. See? The authority or power to do something. So empower means you want to give the authority and power for them to do something. So they want to give women the power. They're actually saying it. They didn't just say equality. They said and empower. Yeah. So
Well, we each got our special abilities. That's what they don't want people to see, is that women do something good and men do something good, but it's not equal in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, women are, they breastfeed kids, men don't. But now, I mean, you look at the soy thing, it's crazy. I mean,
Yep.
I don't even know what to say, man. All of these, just,
So here you go with like water and sanitation. So you got to look at the words they're using. Ensure availability. So they're telling you there's going to be water shortages right there. And sustainable management of water. So how do you sustainably manage water? Now I watched a TV program. South Korea made it. It just came out like, I don't know, 6 months, a year ago. And in South Korea, water was the currency. Okay. And some people had this called like a black, like an American Express card. It was called a gold card or something, where they could drink as much water as they wanted. So anything you did, you got rewarded with water, like units. So like you would go to, let's say, work, and there was a water fountain, and you had to put your card in, and it told you how much water you were allowed to drink, and it shot like 2 ounces of water in your cup. So the more you were doing well with your social credit score, the more water you were allowed.
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So now we're up to affordable, reliable, sustainable, modern energy for all. So we have to understand that. I don't know if you lived in other countries. I have. You do not get electric 24 hours a day like you get in America and like Europe. They roll the electric. So I lived in the DR, and they were shutting the electric down like 6 to 8 hours a day. Now I had private electric that never went out. Because I paid extra for it from a different company. And I lived in a rich neighborhood. That was the only reason why I was able to get it. But when I lived in Santiago, even though I lived in a good neighborhood, it didn't matter. I was losing power 6 to 8 hours a day. I had an inverter that made up for it with batteries, like a generator. But America is going to have this eventually. We're going to have to get used to this. Because they never start doing it.
What city was the rich place where where it always stayed on?
Oh, I lived in it wasn't even a city. It was a neighborhood called Coca-Cola, and the Coca-Cola plant was there. So I would imagine that was the real reason, right?
Wow.
And I lived up maybe 2 blocks up the mountain from it, and it was the whole grid was private, and for that little neighborhood, for just a little neighborhood, maybe 2 or 3 neighborhoods over there had this private electric. And it was more money. It was like kind of the same price as American electric. The poorer people in the DR don't pay the same price like we pay in America. But yeah, it was crazy. You've seen Texas or whatever they're doing, like in California, they're rolling out the power, like rollouts and stuff. I'm sure the richer neighborhoods aren't going to get affected because they control the grid. But they are going to create this false illusion, or maybe it's not even false. Our grid is so neglected on purpose that we're going to have to do this.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, so that's something Americans, not yet, but they're going to see. I think it's going to start to happen over the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Promote sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment, and decent work for all.
Wow.
So what are they going to do? First of all, they're making all this automation, so that's going to take a lot of jobs away. So let's read what this says. One thing our 23 years of Agenda 21 have proven, there is no economic growth. That means we're not growing economically. European nations that implemented sustainable energy and water control guidelines are now dumping those programs as fast as they can save their economics. And who decides what is productive or decent work? Do we leave it to the bureaucrats to decide? Think about it. Most of these rich elites, they never fucking worked a real job. They don't know what it is to go out there and actually grind These people are born with money. They sit in their little penthouses and make decisions for the rest of us. So let's see the next one. Goal number 9. Build resilient infrastructure, which I don't know. Let's see what that means. Promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization and foster innovation. Sustainable industrialization means destroyed industry. I don't know what. No real industry can remain in business under a government-managed economy.
Yeah, it's sustainable industrialization and foster innovation. Oh, come now.
Like communism, kind of.
Build resilient infrastructure, promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization and foster innovation. So what they're saying is the goal is good, but it's like, are they really going to do that? Sustainable, industry. So it's like something that is not going to use up. What's up, Woody? Good to see you, man. Tuesday. Black Bull right back to me.
Woody Johnson, huh?
Woody Johnson, man. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's they always say stuff like that, but then do they really follow through on it?
No, but this is what they're trying to push. I mean, when they're teaming up with the UN, it's a little spooky that now 2 organizations are merging. Who the hell is the World Health Organization that is in Europe got to do with the UN?
Yeah, that's so they can enforce the health policies.
Right. That's exactly what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Make cities and human settlements inclusive. You hear that? Make cities and human settlements inclusive.
Crazy.
Safe, resilient, and sustainable. So they're going to make some cities out of control. Like Portland they were doing, right? They were doing all that shit. And then they'll make certain cities where they're actually going to have police. The smart growth, which promotes a utopia of families and neighbors playing and working together. Riding bikes, walking to work in stress-free communities. Oh, we're going to walk to work. Did you hear that? Walk to work. It really means the end of private property rights. Oh, do we hear that now? It really means the end of private property rights, single-family homes, and stack and pack high-rises where residents are overtaxed, overregulated, rents are high, and individual thoughts and actions are viewed as a threat to the well-ordered society. So you're not allowed to have an opinion. You're going to live in this little city that everybody's like a robot walking around with each other.
Crazy.
Yeah, you're going to own nothing and be happy. They keep telling you that.
Yeah.
So ensure sustainable consumption and production patterns. What the hell does that mean? Sustainable consumption. Like they're making it sound like we're having a problem producing food. I don't know. Up until about 6 months, a year ago, we had no production problems. Now all of a sudden, we went from 7.8 billion to 7.9 billion. Now that extra 0.9 billion, all of a sudden we can't feed people no more. I mean, where are they getting this shit from? We got enough. We could feed the world 3 times over if we wanted to, just with our technology. So it's all bullshit. Take urgent action to combat climate change and its impact. So they're saying this is the root to the entire plan. Climate change, how scientific reports do real scientists have to show this is the greatest scam ever devised and create a reason for government to control every aspect of your lives. Does that make sense? So you create a major global problem so they can control you. Everything's about the climate, so they got to regulate almost everything in your life. No matter what it is, whether it be power, whether it be food, whether it be the oceans, no matter what it is, they're going to say that they have to regulate everything based on climate change. This, I think, is the main thing. I think the diaper on the face was just a little thing they threw out there. Now they take it away, so they're going to make you feel like you're free. but they're going to hit us hard. I think this climate change thing is the real agenda, because that gives them total control. They don't even have to make a pandemic no more.
You got to do a show on the climate change. They got these devices and stuff. You know, it's really, I don't know if I'll talk about it on Wisdom Radio, but yeah, I had a few pictures. Forgot what they call it again, but yeah, you know.
Yeah, they're global warming scaremongers. So all of a sudden we got to worry about all this shit, but that's okay. You want to worry about it a little bit. You want to, you want to start to like make people get solar panels. I get it, but you want to control everything. That's a problem.
Yeah, people got to start building communities where they have their access to own, clean energy, even maybe, stuff, water wells, and
I think this is the root, though. But I think this is really what they're looking to get to, with the climate thing. I think that is.
You look at the younger generation, like
they believe it.
Yeah, and they need help from the older generation to let them know. That's why, like Tuesday saying thanks for letting Harky know he's not lasagna killer. Yeah, I mean that's why I'm compassionate toward Harky and other guys, but I see other guys don't want to do that. And it actually, it's pathetic when I look at these guys that are not compassionate. I mean, yeah, Harky and a lot of other guys, have different views, but to bully them is not the answer. It's to talk with them. That's why I let him on, and I'm happy to have him on. I mean, other guys don't come on because he comes on, and that tells me more about them than it does about Harky. But I'm glad Tuesday, I'm glad Woody let him know. I mean, I know him and Lasagna Killer Alex was getting into it, but I look at it like what is, why do the younger guys between 18 and 30, even 18 and 35, act the way they act? Why do they act like that? And they've been soyed out, a lot of them. It's even the ones that don't. What's funny is I see these guys that they think are better, but their parents pay for every fucking thing. I mean, they go to school for medicine and all of that. They don't know what it's like to work. And then they try to, criticize somebody, and I look at that and I say, oh yeah, I see other guys in the manosphere, like, oh, MD might be a little cold or distant to someone because they bully Harky or something. But I'm like, no, they don't know what it's like to actually produce something for themselves, and I call it out the way I call it out, that, they come from rich parents that pay for their schooling, and then they want to criticize each other. And I'm just like, no, I know what's going on, and people know that, that's why I like promoting Pop's show, because we're in the battlefield together. These other guys, they try to act like they're down with us, but then they run and hide, and that's why, I distance myself from them. And then other guys want to distance themselves as well. So fuck them too. I've given so much to the manosphere for free. And for guys to act like that, especially guys that have their parents paying their freaking bills, and these guys know who they are. They know who I'm talking about, and Pops, I'm tired of the bullshit. Yeah,
I love when you go, they know who they are.
Well, they know exactly who they are.
They know who they are.
They go to their little colleges, and and they tried to bully Harky, and I had to stand up for them. And I said, look, that ain't gonna happen not on my watch,
Yep.
And then everybody has, everybody got their problems, but yeah, I look at that and I say, yeah, no, what do you? It'll all come out in the open, Woody. It'll definitely will, because
it all has to come out.
It does. I've given so much to these guys for free, these younger men, and then I see them turn around, and get vindictive even, and I look at that and I say, all right. I said, yeah. I said, it's just a matter of the right moment when I decide to crush, but
drop the hammer, man. He said.
yeah, just drop it, it just
look at number 15 now. This one is so easy to see what they're doing. protect and restore and promote sustainable use of terrestrial. They got to use the word terrestrial.
Yeah,
Ecosystems, substantially manage forests, combat the certification and halt the reverse of land degradation and halt biodiversity loss. So I don't know if you ever remembered a lot of the fires in California when Trump was president. He said Germany has bigger forests than us, okay, and they don't have fires because they pick up the dead trees. It's all about forest management. But in California, they don't want to do it. It's not that they can't.
Yeah.
They want the fires. They want people to live in cities. They don't want them to live out in the rural areas.
You know what they do? They do too is small forest fires, right? Like little forest fires that start up and go out. Yeah, and Harky's a good lad. You're absolutely right, Tuesday, and that's why I treat him well. You know, but the forest fires, small fires, right? They prevent large fires. So like there's like how those old trees and stuff like that has to be when you leave the stuff that's flammable in the forest, they will start a large fire, because usually a forest, like say lightning strikes, you know, a old log, it goes on fire, it burns up the leaves in that area, and you know it'll spread to a certain distance and then it'll burn out. When they don't allow that to happen the way nature would happen that way, they get these massive forest fires. And then that's just the normal stuff. Then we got the fact that they're probably starting some of them, you know, that they're probably you know, I look at that like, you know, how the heck can we be so technologically advanced and still have a problem with the forest things? Yeah, Harky contributes great stuff. And yeah, I don't think Myron's 5'11".
They're not picking up the dead trees. It's starting the fires.
Yeah, exactly. They got to get rid of all of that stuff, because if they leave that stuff that's flammable there, I mean, they used to set those trees on fire and then watch it burn out. And if it got out of control, you know, they spray it out, because, you know, if they move the trees, they're like, all right, what are they going to do? Throw it in the dump or whatever.
Right.
But, you know, so they definitely have to eliminate that stuff. When they don't do that, you get these tremendous, it gets to
OGT saying they planted too many trees. If a tree's alive, it doesn't cause a fire.
Yeah,
it's when it's dead and dry. That's what causes. So they got to remove them. It's not. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. So let's move on to this one. So what they want to do here is basically talking about having a credit score. And where is that? I was over there. Promote peaceful and inclusive societies for sustainable development. Provide access to justice for all. To build effective accountability, basically, and inclusive institutions at all levels. This is social justice, which really means social engineering. Have you ever witnessed the effective or accountable institution coming out of the United Nations? By its very nature, the UN is unaccountable. Who would the entirety to oversee that accountability? Every one of these programs outlined in the 2030 agenda creates money, power, and unaccountability at every level of government. So the government's not going to be accountable for anything, only the people. That's why government is now running out of control, and people are feeling so hopeless in trying to deal with their governments. Goal 16 should be named Foxes Running the Henhouse Goal. So, you know, these oligarchs and governments want to run everything, tell us what we can do, give us social credit scores, but they don't want to be accountable for anything. I mean, this is going on in China right now. If you have a low social credit score in China, you're not allowed to go like eat in a restaurant. I watched a girl, she loved it in China. She goes, I love this social credit score, this Chinese girl. She was going to like fancy restaurants and eating. Maybe her family had money though on top of it, right? So this is like, they want the young generation to get like into this bullshit. Social credit score. there's a movie they have out there already that people are walking by each other and their phone would tell them that person's social credit score when they were walking by them. And they would like either say hello to them, they wouldn't say hello. And then if they had a good conversation, it would give each other like likes. So if you got more likes, your social credit score went up. Some sick shit they got in plan for us. My social credit score would be fucking 0. Because I ain't playing around with that. I'm not participating in that bullshit.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
And now number 17, which is the last one, strengthen the means of implementation and revitalize the global partnership for sustainable development. This means reboot of Agenda 21 to make a global partnership. The goal is a call for all of the treaties, plans, and schemes devised in the massive UN meetings to be made the law of the globe. So they want to make the law of the globe. See, they're trying right now to pass a law, and this is a fact, that the UN will be able to override our Constitution in the United States. Who the fuck are these globalists from other countries to tell people living in America they could override us? Who are they? That's like war. If you really think about it, that's tyranny. They want to come in here and tell us they can tell us what to do because they're part of the global government. Well, we don't want to be part of the global government. I know I don't. Do you, MD?
Nah, no.
Yeah, so.
Takes away sovereignty, you know?
Yep. I mean, their plans, I mean, you look at all this stuff. They got all the water lines mapped out. They got everything figured out. When you look at what they're doing, they got all kinds of things figured out, what they're going to do, where everything is. They know each state, what resources each state has. They know everything now. They've even divided it up to where they know exactly where the pastures are going to be, where the private timberlands are going to be. I mean, they got all kinds of crazy shit, where the cotton's going to come from. They got plans for everything. So we have to understand that these people have been talking about it, but now they're implementing it. It's different, you know. They talked about 2021 and then 2030 for many years, but then now they're starting to really implement this shit. And we're all sitting back here going, it didn't affect me yet. I'll just live my life. Well, it will one day get to you. Like I said, the devil will come knocking on your door one day. I was looking at some InfoWars shit. Some interesting stuff he's coming out with. I found this article. It's about a year old. And I never even, because Mel Gibson's one of my favorite actors. And I don't know. I guess they didn't make this movie yet. Maybe they stopped it. Maybe they told Mel Gibson, we'll kill you and your whole family if you make it. But he was making a movie about the Rothschilds and the New World Order. It hasn't come out yet. A family of bankers that created the Zionist movement. So this is a whole article about Mel Gibson was trying to come out with a movie. I don't know. Maybe he's still making it. I hope it comes out. But
I think he is.
This will be really good. And it's showing you like the United Nations, Bilderberger Group. This guy, he's opening up the can of worms.
Oh, no, he definitely is, man. Tuesday's right, man. The Constitution doesn't make us free. Just the way a get well letter doesn't make you better. You have to sit there and you have to be vigilant. You have to be part of your community. You have to, it's about knowing what's going on. Everybody's the majority of people, they don't want to know what's going on.
Right. As much as I love the Constitution, it does protect the evil too. Devil worshiping is considered a religion. So the Constitution protects people that worship the devil. I mean, that's the bottom line. Our founding fathers could have put a clause in there if they wanted, like, okay, freedom of religion unless you're worshiping the devil. I mean, really, that's what should have been in there.
The thing is, we got to remember those guys, like you said a long time ago, a lot of those guys were in on it,
Yes, they made those laws making us think they were. They're so intelligent. We have to understand what geniuses these people are because they're 100 years ahead in thinking. They're thinking, okay, well, we're going to make this freedom a religion now. And right now, if people did worship Satan, let's say when our founding fathers made it, people would not accept it, right?
Yeah,
But
well,
they knew one day it would be accepted.
Well, think about it, Pop. They're not really everybody's founding fathers. It's like there was no Italians in America before like the 1800s and 1900s.
Well,
You know?
even
So
were
it's
there
like,
any black founding fathers?
not, well, you know, this is the funny thing. There are records of some. You know, they say that there were other presidents before Washington. I think 7 or 8 of them, but again, yeah, there's none that are black that they put into the history books. The Native Americans, the you know, other people that are here today. When we look at it, you know, we start to say not everybody seems to be included, but that's the good thing about progressing as things move forward. We need to rewrite. We have to be active, you know, because that's what it's all about. Saying, look, it's kind of like you have a neighborhood. And if people don't patrol and make sure the neighborhood is safe or keep an eye out and watch, then it allows that other stuff to come in.
Mhm.
And it's the same thing with the country. You know, when you look at it, like you said before, you're letting other people come in. You know, they let these guys come in from other countries, and you know, it's like, what about the people here?
Yep.
You know, it's like they still don't have drinkable water in Michigan, in Flint, Michigan. You know, nobody cares about that shit. It just
we got Scribe. I didn't see him, and we got MacGyver. So, all right, let me just put it. I didn't even see these guys because I have my I got my shit minimized, and I wasn't paying attention. Hold on, let me get him in there. So, is that you, Scribe?
Yeah. What's up, Pops?
And
What's up,
I see MacGyver, so I don't got to worry about that. All right. Sorry if I let you guys sit there. I didn't see you. Let me make my screen bigger so I can see everything now. Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of shit going on, but people do have to wake up. I don't know if they are, and even if we are waking up, I don't know. I feel like sometimes even people that are woken up, we're kind of powerless right now. We got to figure it out. We got to figure out something. Something has to happen. I think once we get one, I think here's the real trick. Once we get one real big leader to lead the masses, there'll be other big leaders coming out of the water, you know, out of the woodwork. But right now, nobody's got the balls to do what needs to be done, like a big leader. Like, you see Elon Musk right now? He's doing the Twitter thing, and but could you imagine, like, you know, he really goes crazy and starts going after these guys with all kinds of shit? That would be the leader we need, like, to get us going, so other men would have the balls to step up to the plate. You need leaders. People follow.
I think he's part of the plan, though. I definitely.
I definitely think he's part of the plan.
Yeah. He's trying to remember what he said. He's trying to put neurochips into people's brain and shit like that.
Yeah, you can't trust him.
Yeah. He's a billionaire. You don't get to be a billionaire unless they say so. You know, like you gotta do something. Yeah, I got to get back. I'll talk to you guys soon, man. I'm glad you got the other guys on, man. We'll definitely talk.
All right, no problem.
All right, bro. Talk to you later, man.
We got Scribe here. He's Book of Knowledge. What do you think about all this 2000? I don't know if you've seen the video, Scribe, that I just showed. They're ramping it up now. They're merging the UN with the World Health Organization. There, the World Economic Forum. They're merging with the UN.
Oh, of course they are. I mean,
here's the video. I'll play it for you, so you and MacGyver can see.
This afternoon, the Secretary General and Klaus Schwab, the founder of the World Economic Forum, will witness the signing of a memorandum of understanding on a strategic partnership between the UN and the World Economic Forum, which outlines areas of cooperation to deepen engagement between the two institutions and to jointly accelerate the implementation of the 2030 Agenda.
So to excel the implementation of 2030 Agenda. But you know what's funny? If you look at that, there's only 2 reporters there, and they're not even looking at them. Like, was that all bullshit? Like, where are all the reporters? This is some important shit going on, and there's nobody there.
Oh yeah, exactly. Because
are they hiding it?
People aren't even thinking about this stuff. I mean, because I heard about the 2030 thing a couple years back. right when the the thing hit, and they're already talking about that part of the 2030 thing is the implementation of the global economic system merged with the police and the
Yep.
and the laws and everything else. So now basic rights are gonna must be changed because of the imminent threat of all this shit that they created. So yeah, that's part of that agenda.
But they're
And
ramping it up. Did you hear what he said? To rapidly increase it faster, like to make it happen quicker. That's why they're
Mhm.
claiming they're doing this. I think their real goal, I think how they're going to really control the world, it wasn't through the pandemic because there's only so much you could bullshit people, right? I think they're going to do it with the climate change. That's how I think they could run the whole planet. Everything will be based about the planet's getting destroyed.
well, pops,
And we,
what makes you think they haven't been doing so for the last how the things we haven't
they are doing it
we're
already,
not
right?
supposed to be getting this aware. That's the issue.
Right.
We've gotten out of the matrix, looking in now versus us living in it and looking out, wondering what's going on. Now we're looking at people, seeing how this thing is working out. Not many people get to that point, so that's why these groups are so small, because not many people are ever going to be able to. You could explain this shit all day to somebody like that Tom guy. You could explain this shit all day, have facts, proof, video, proof beyond proof, and the guy's like, "Nah, man, it's the president's going to help," because they've been so ingrained in that way of being, they just simply cannot accept the fact
You're
until
right.
something really fucks up happens to them or something. Like my dad recently, now he's saying, because the church guy said there might be an Illuminati or something, a deep state and all this other stuff, and he started looking into it. Now he's like, kind of understanding what's going on now. But I told him this like 20 plus years ago. What's up, my guy?
Yeah, I mean, if you got a hunch, follow it.
Mm-hmm.
And all my hunches seem to come down. It's just common sense, 2 and 2 together. I mean, nobody's talking about the Beirut bombing or the AT&T bombing. How come nobody's talking about that? It's just swept under the carpet.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
they've been sweeping a lot of things under the carpet, but Scribe
Yeah.
is right. They are doing.
Yes.
They have been doing this agenda
Oh,
for
yeah.
a while. It's just that now they want to ramp it up and warp speed it, like Operation Warp Speed. That's what they want to do.
They got to be done by 30.
Right. They have enough. They have a date. They want to get it done. I think they tried to get it done by 2021, and it didn't work out.
They did it 20. 20.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's Agenda 20/30 Sustainable Development started in 20 and hope to be done by 30.
Well, let's see what happens.
I mean, you gotta remember the stuff 20 years ago, even before 9/11, and now. Like, place yourself now and 20 years ago, 9/11, and you have all this stuff 10 years before that that's telling you and showing you the fucking plane going into the tower. It shows you The Simpsons, or it shows you some other shit 10 years prior. It's like you cannot have this type of predictive programming without this shit being planned 100, 200 years prior, because that's just
right.
too perfect. And because I heard you earlier when I wasn't out, you said, they're 100 years ahead of us. No, I think it's way more profound than that. As in, imagine if you had your own little ant farm, your own little, like that one movie. What's not that movie? The show. What's it called? The Westworld, whatever.
Yeah.
Where you see like they got the platform, they see everybody, and it's some shit like that, basically, where technology is already or has been established at the peak. And we're thrown into this fucking arena, this world, thinking we're, have our own shit and we're going to build our own stuff and we have our own decisions. Meanwhile, you have these guys playing God or whatever. So it's like that, where the technology's always been there. They've always had it. It's just like they're just disseminating it to us in the way they want it to. And they've created these beings, which are us, that are way too smart, way too spiritual, way too powerful in all those senses, where you have to really suppress us really badly to keep us on an animalistic level, which is where they want to keep you. They call you an animal. You came from a chimp. You're a mammal. You're nothing more than that. So once you're put at that level, they can tell you whatever the fuck they want.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna believe that shit because you're a dumb animal.
Right.
Once they got you in that vibration, and you realize later, wait a second, we're soul, we're energy, we're so much more than this. And you start seeing what they're doing to us, and then you start seeing the tech they're using. You're in a whole different realm now, because now you talk to a regular person, and they think you're fucking nuts. So this is the issue.
Yeah, I've noticed that people like us, when we talk like this, I'll give you an example. I worked in Bob's Furniture for a couple of years ago, and I had a lot of friends there. You know, it was 30 salesmen in the store, so you made friends with a lot of people. And I used to talk about all this shit. They all thought I was crazy. Now, just touched base with like 4 or 5 guys from that store that's still working there. And they said, holy shit. They call me Mo. They used to call me Mo because I always say Mo all the time. So they went, Mo, you were right. Holy shit. And I even watch your channel now. They said, yo, you were right about almost everything. I go, but we thought you were crazy. I go, yeah, now do you understand? And they all agreed. I'm talking 4 or 5 of them all go, you're right, Mo. So here you go. You know, at least some people are waking up, though.
And let me guess, that happened after the pandemic, right? Like during the pandemic, right?
No, this conversation just happened like 2 days ago.
There you go. But I'm just saying it happened during, like, my dad. It's like it took this type of world power to demonstrate to the people of the world, look, you morons, we got the power.
Right.
And now people can say, you know, no one can argue with that because that was a fucking fact beyond a fact. And,
yeah. When they locked down the whole world, that showed you their power.
Yeah. That was power beyond. I didn't even think they were that powerful.
Me either. I said, holy shit, they're controlling every single country.
Yeah, because
I
live in Panama, and the restrictions and stuff they started doing here for that was so beyond their regular normal thing. Because people here in the cops are real chill.
Right.
When that shit kicked off, these motherfuckers went straight stormtrooper, Nazi, you know, Gestapo shit. I'm like,
yeah,
where the fuck did all this shit come from? You don't got money for all this shit, or be worried about this thing to that degree. You know, it was unbelievable. I was like, wait, what fucking country am I right now?
The poor countries were worse off. Like the Dominican Republic, these people were basically fucking in the streets and drinking beer in the streets and getting hot, and nobody cared about it. You go to a car wash, it was like full of hookers. I mean, this is how crazy the DR is. And then all of a sudden this bullshit hit, and it became like Germany in World War II.
Yeah, so where did all this funding come from magically now?
Right,
now they got funding for the fucking vaccine, you know, everything. Now they got funding. Everything is, now we give a fuck. Really?
Funding the highest stormtroopers.
Yeah, it's like a few months ago, people were dying in the street. Now all of a sudden, you care? It's
right.
Like, you know, it's like, holy shit, this is, you know.
No, but that's 100% true. Life in like the Dominican Republic has no value. Like, I'll give you an example. If there's a car accident there and somebody dies in the car, you know, like a car crash, there's no investigation. They just take the body, bring it to the morgue, take the car, tow it off the road. They don't, like, you know, rope it off to see what car hit that car, what car took off. Like, you get murdered in the DR, there's no fucking, there's no like, you know, Dexter, where they come and take blood samples. I forget what you call that unit and all that. Like fingerprints and all that.
Yeah,
shit.
forensics. Yeah, definitely.
Forensic. They don't have any of that. You died. That's it. Next. Now all of a sudden, life was valuable.
It's unreal. I mean, it's like when they want to push that button, they will push that fucking button, and that shit will happen like that. So
Right.
they're, oh no, it's too complex. Oh no, you know, we're just, the government's incompetent. No, we need Trump to do this. That. Motherfucker, they want to do that. It's going to happen right here, right now.
That's
so
right.
That's what makes it so laughable when people keep saying, "Oh man, we got to get Trump back," and all this. It's just, you know,
he's part of the plan. Like I've been
Exactly.
telling everybody, he's part of the plan. What makes us think that? Oh, I love when people go, "Oh, but he got lucky. He snuck in with the election. You know, they got caught off guard." Bullshit. They don't leave chance to anything. They knew exactly what they were doing when they put Trump in there. They put him in there for a reason.
Well, I think they had The Apprentice to see if you can handle talking with the people and, you know, acting.
dude, the guy was on WWF doing shit. I'm like, you put that clown up there. I mean, you might as well put in The Rock or Hulk Hogan or someone like that. You know, this is how laughable the shit's gotten. But I see why they put him there, because this was to neutralize the people that were awake to think, wait, we got hope. We got this guy. He understands fake news. He gets it. That's what he was there for. But the guys like us that are above that know that he was just a puppet to neutralize that shit. And they got his ass out of there for what his purpose was. And they put in fucking Sleepy Joe. And then now we're on this track again. So that was just a publicity stunt in my mind. There was no
100%.
Like I said, the only guy I ever heard that had said any real shit that was a candidate was Ron Paul when they asked him, what's your first executive order if you were to elect you president? He said, what? To abolish the federal fucking reserve. It's like the machine's there, the wall, the plug is right there, but when you're a president, they ignore all that shit and they just do whatever that they're told. And this guy's like, you know what? That plug right there, I'm going to pull that plug out the wall so the Federal Reserve cannot, be on
You
our
never
ass.
heard Trump saying he was going to do it.
They don't even talk about that. It doesn't even exist in their mind.
Right.
So that's how you know that they're bullshit, that they're just a puppet in there doing whatever they need to do. But when you got someone like that saying, I'm going to abolish the Federal Reserve, okay, now this guy's woken up. He knows what's going on. But he'll never get to be president.
And they got all controlled opposition out there. Like, I really believe InfoWars is controlled opposition.
Oh, for sure. Dude.
I think he would be put under the ground if he wasn't,
Long ago.
Yeah, because think about this. I haven't heard one person on any show, say what I said and what you just said. Trump was part of the plan. Not one of them. They all make believe Trump is the guy that's going to save us, or he was the guy that was trying to save us. No, you idiots. He's part of the plan. Nobody says this, only me. I'm surprised they didn't come to my house yet and arrest me. Because I guess I'm so small, they don't care. But we have to understand the Republicans are part of the plan. It's all bullshit. Everything. They control. Right, you said it. You hit it on the money, and I don't think I could have said it any better way. Is they showed you how powerful they were when they locked down the whole planet.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, okay, this is the point of no return. They have opened Pandora's box, and there ain't no way, there ain't no shutting it at this point. So whatever they're planning on doing, and that sounds like they're gearing up for the 2030 because they start exactly on the right, in 2020. So you already know we're locked in. There is no
escape.
They basically push that fucking button, and there ain't no fucking getting out. And all we can do at this point is just have these conversations and try to help each other out, and just hopefully we can get our kids through this shit and all that. So
yeah, and we got to realize that the next real big thing, I think, way bigger than the plague. I think way bigger control is going to come through climate change. Way massiver.
I think it's going to be through food.
Well, they're going to control food through climate change. They're going to say we can't have cows no more. They're letting off carbon. They're farting too much.
You know what it's going to do to Americans and how many hamburgers? And I ain't going to eat no soy burger.
You'll eat an insect cockroach burger and be happy.
Yeah, about it. Yep. Lucky I'm eating.
So what do you think, MacGyver? Do you think Trump was part of the plan?
I told you he was. When I first was talking to you, you're like, I like you, MacGyver.
Oh, okay. I don't remember. I'm asking you again.
You're from New York.
No, so the people here can hear you talking. Even if I remembered, I'm still going to ask
you. Yeah.
I need another opinion.
Okay, my opinion is, any president that's going to say, hey, people, we need to go down to this building and tell them how we feel, and knowing that they're going to put a bad element in it. And, he led him to slaughter, more or less.
Yep. Even with the warp speed, he is the one who did the warp speed of, with the vaxxers. He's the one who implemented it. Not Biden. Biden didn't even exist. So what happened to, and then here's what they're telling you now. If you've noticed, Trump isn't pushing the magic potion anymore. He's kind of laid back because I think his people told him, listen, that's the one thing your people, your followers don't want to hear. They're starting to doubt you. So
that's why
stopped.
You got Facebook, so he can see what Facebook says. That's what they're doing. That's why they got the Facebook, these platforms out there to see what the algorithms say.
Right. But people make excuses for Trump. They go, oh, he didn't know. Are you fucking kidding me? He didn't know. Just like when he hired all these people, like he hired Byrd to be his Department of Justice. He hired, his secretary. You're telling me he didn't vent those people with a fine comb? Of course he did. He knew exactly who he was putting in power.
What got me with Trump was he said all this wonderful shit, but none of this shit was happening. You notice that? Oh, none of it was happening.
He's playing the victim.
I'm going to drain the swamp. Yeah, okay. How come it's not drained?
He didn't drain shit. Did you see the video they just show with Pelosi and a couple of these
I'm just saying, if they were to drain the swamp, he'd be going down with them.
Yeah.
That's why he didn't drain it.
Did you see the video of Pelosi and some of these left wingers going down to Ukraine just recently? Like,
No,
they're
I did not.
representing the United States now. Who is fucking Pelosi to go down there talking about, how we're going to help Ukraine? She's in Ukraine, met with the fake president there.
That old bitch needs some dick or something. She
Here it is. I got the video. I'm going to play it. Hold on. Let me get this video. But you guys could talk while I'm getting this video together.
So you live in Panama?
Yeah.
Do you know about that family? A guy named John that took his wife or his girlfriend down there, and they bought some islands, and he's building fiberglass houses on there. He's living off the land, building his own fiberglass boats, pedal boats.
Really?
You know anything about that?
John who? John.
I can't remember their name. He lives up in Massachusetts. He came up with this invention for a toy, which got him enough money to get out of the Massachusetts and move down to Panama Islands on the east side of the country.
East side.
Yeah, instead of the west side coming into Panama, he's on the west side coming into Panama. He's got little islands up there. Okay. I was looking through my subs here. I'm trying to find him.
Let me see. He might be talking about. Let me look at the map. Probably book us or something like that.
So I'm downloading.
J Maltels. That's it.
I'm downloading his video.
Here's a link to this guy who's in Panama.
Oh, put it in the private chat or whatever.
Yeah. He's in Panama with his family. He said, "Frick the rat race," and he took off. So this guy is out of the rat race and living off the land right here in Panama with his family. There it is. Come on, if these guys were to tell the truth, Alex Jones would be off the face of the earth. So would Alex Jones. Come on.
Alex Jones is Bill Hicks. Well, he looks just like him. I can tell you that. That's for sure. I agree with Asveron too. They're all the same.
Yes.
I think I downloaded this. So we got the head directors. We got Pelosi. Now, when did this ever happen where the Speaker of the House is going to meet a president during a war? It's never happened. All of a sudden, I'm going to put my faith into this, I don't know how old she is, 80-year-old witch. Here it is. Here, look at this shit. This is insanity.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for coming.
Second in line to the U.S. presidency, Nancy Pelosi is the highest-ranking U.S. official to visit Ukraine. The Speaker of the House led a congressional delegation to Kyiv and spent 3 hours with the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky.
Do not be bullied by bullies. If they're making threats, you cannot back down. That's my view of it. That we're there for the fight, and you cannot fold to a bully.
The U.S. delegation discussed the big three issues for the Ukrainians: security.
So
we should use her words against her. Don't be bullied by the bullies.
No, but you have to see later on in the speech. They're talking about we're not going to. The U.S. is here to win. We're not backing down. Are you trying to escalate World War III? Right. And this is all part of the plan, too, by the way. It's fear-mongering.
People that are in part of this like to talk with their hands, you know what I mean?
But
Pelosi, she's always like, they go to speech class and teach you how to speak, stand, present yourself. They go through all this shit.
We really got to put our lives and our families' lives in that witch's hands? She's over there talking about we're going to get the bully Putin and all this shit. Come on now.
You need to take that clip and hold it against her, saying, hey, you're the bully. You're causing all of this. So, hey, you tell us to never back down from the bully. Well, guess what? You're the bully, and we should not back down from you.
I mean, we're supposed to be talking about peace, and they're talking about he's the bully, and you never back down to the bully. And, like, are you really serious? Like, I mean, how dumb are the American people if they buy this shit?
I mean, if you notice, all the stuff that they do in the background usually happens when we're at war. When we're at war, we get certain perks and certain connections, different
Right.
things happen there that they get to do more illegal shit. Like if you look at 9/11, like the amount of illegal shit that they did, the few days afterwards was just literally just letting the U.S. crumble at that point. This is when this stuff happens. So when you're at war, also the Constitution, all these things, laws, everything are pretty much take a back seat. Now they're able to even go up as far as martial law, whatever the fuck they want to do. So they have to keep the constant war shit going on in order to keep that unconstitutional, illegal stuff going on in our faith, because we think it's okay because we're at war. And
well, Biden just passed a comment in one of his interviews or something. He said, this Ukrainian war is good for jobs. Yeah, the only guys really working, making what? Making bombs? Is that what you're trying to say? I mean, like, really? And then they're trying to make us believe they're seizing all these Russian oligarchs.
Well, you know who says that? Who says that? Halliburton says that. Oh, war is good because we get to rebuild the shit. Yeah, you do. You get all the fucking contracts. Meanwhile, we got to pay the taxpayer money on that shit.
See what happens if we got a committee together, we start making it big, but they're going to infiltrate our committee with their money and powers like they did to BLM. Now that lady's rich lady living in Beverly Hills with the white folks. So if I'm starting a grassroots movement and I'm good and loyal, they're going to temptate me with this money. And next, you know what, I'll cave in because money's better. And I'm going to live a nice life and leave all you people behind. That's what that lady did for BLM. But we need to get a committee together. Seriously. It's the only way to treat these bastards.
Here's the other thing, McGuire. You said something earlier. You said about the draining the swamp, right? I'm thinking, fuck the swamp. Fuck the swamp. Drain the fucking ocean. And you're going to see what the fuck is really there. Because that's the problem. We're segregating this thing as a small, localized issue. Let's drain the swamp of whatever. It's like, no, this is a global.
They've been trying to stomp these bastards for years. Like the Knights Templar, they tried to smash those guys down for years, but yet they just went out on their head and came up against somewhere else. These bastards are fucking evil. This was the whole problem, the whole fucking world, because of these assholes.
Well, they will not give up their power either, and we must understand. They will destroy the world. They will destroy this world before they give up power.
Yep. You put yourself in their shoes. You got all your big mansion. You got all the power. You can do whatever you want. You can mess with this if you want. You can do whatever you want, pretty much.
But they don't really.
Would you give it up?
Yeah. I don't think they care about money so much. I think they're psychopaths that love power. Well, let's watch part 2 of that clip now. Let's see another part of it. I don't want to play the whole thing at once. They may, give me copyright bullshit.
The big 3 issues for the Ukrainians: security, humanitarian support, and financial aid.
We need this bill to support Ukraine in this fight for freedom.
President Joe Biden has already announced a new $33 billion aid package. Senate leader Chuck Schumer says they're going after Russian President Vladimir Putin's friends and allies.
In the legislation of the $33 billion, I will be adding provisions that allow us to go after the oligarchs, take their money, and send it right to Ukraine. This is the kind of stuff we're talking about. Yachts, mansions.
At the moment, the US can seize assets and freeze them. New legislation would make it easier to seize and sell, funneling the money back to Ukraine. It's a tactic used against organized crime in the US.
So now they're treating a country like organized crime, like gangsters. They're seizing their stuff. I mean, how much more do they want to push Russia into war?
They're doing it. They're pinching Russia now, slowly and slowly.
But I think Russia's in on it too. I think Putin's in on it too. He's part of the plan.
And I think our 3 sanctuary cities are going to get hit.
Yeah. I mean, if you watch Klaus Schwab, he praises Putin years ago. Yeah. Now all of a sudden, we're going to make Putin the boogeyman, or we're going to make him the savior of Russia. I mean, like, come on. Yeah. This is all a script.
He's doing the same things Trump's done. Yeah. Now they're doing it with Putin, with the world. So he's like, okay, this worked good with Trump. Now let's manipulate the world with Putin.
And where's that money really going? You're taking more money from the American taxpayer and giving it to Ukraine for weapons to fight Russia. So We're giving them money to start World War III, basically.
Yes, that's what we are doing. The bankers.
And we're sitting here as American citizens, and nobody's talking about it.
Okay.
Only the pop show.
Yeah, it's the bankers. So, like that bomb in Beirut, that big building that blew up, that big percussion.
Yeah.
What buildings were around that structure?
I don't see Alex Jones talking about this. I'm the real fucking InfoWars.
Right.
He's the chill one.
What buildings were around that building in Beirut?
Hey, Alex Jones, stop pissing ass and licking the boot.
All right. So there was banks. There was a bank there.
There will be processes.
Well, I'll show that one in a little bit. You finished talking? Go ahead,
yeah, they obliterated the banks over there because the banks were involved with the big bank cartel. So guess what?
This is all part of the plan.
Right.
Yeah, let's go to clip 3 here.
There will be processes and protections in place to prevent unwarranted seizures. One of the things that Schumer and his team are talking about are having an expedited review process so that any appeals could be made quickly.
The Senate could start moves on the new aid package this week. The House is on a break, but could push through any legislation quickly with the support from both parties. Joe Biden could have a bill to sign within 2 weeks. Alan Fisher, Al Jazeera, Washington.
So you see how they give themselves up to, everybody's blaming Biden for all the stuff previous to this. Forget about Ukraine right now. Do you see how fast they said, well, the Senate and Congress could pass anything through in 2 weeks? So let's stop with the bullshit blaming Biden when he's just part of the puppet plan. Okay, like with the oil prices. You ever see these senators? They're going, well, Biden's got to change it. He's got to start making his drills so we can get the... But yet they don't pass any laws to get that done. And they can do it. They don't want to do it. It's all a fucking game. It's crazy how much of a TV show this is right now. And people are buying into this shit.
Yep.
The war is all bull. Forget about Ukraine and forget about Russia. I feel bad because the people are all suffering. Let's face reality. The people dying in Ukraine and the people dying, Russian soldiers are irrelevant. They don't mean shit. They're just little mice in a field. You don't think these oligarchs really care, do you? So I feel bad for all those people. But that don't mean where's the money going, and why are we supplying Ukraine with weapons to fight Russia? And Russia's already warned us that if you keep doing this, we're going to escalate. But it's all part of the plan. We know by sending, we want to make the people see they're trying to draw a picture. They're drawing a picture for us. So like a playbook. So we as Americans could say, yeah, well, we were sending arms to defend Ukraine and Russia's coming back at us and we're correct. And yeah, let's go fight. No, idiot. We shouldn't be sending them weapons. We should go over there and try to make peace. Instead, we're sending Pelosi, the head witch priestess, beside Clinton, and that guy Schiff, Mr. Pedo himself, and they're all there. Schiff is over there, the guy that said Russia collusion. This is such a game and an act that is beyond most people's brain capacity. Well, you can't fool Pops because I see the whole game.
Well, we need to start a committee. It's the only way you could possibly. Get all the people on the same page of us, petitions, all this shit.
We can't even get a committee of people to stop wearing diapers on their face.
But Pops, just like that with the whole pandemic thing and all that. So when that happened, when you saw the power of the world just turn like that, as if it came from a single entity, a single source of power, not multiple nations getting together and figuring shit out, right? Because that would be a whole different way of, thing, which is the real way of doing it. But you saw that shit just go like this, right? So what that kind of means is whatever is making those things happen, like we said before, it's not a human entity. It's like something they'll just get people that fit that profile, and okay, he's the president, he's this, he's that, get him to do this, get him to do that.
Yeah, like the guy in Ukraine now. Right.
Yeah, all this shit playing out right now. So whatever is making that play out is not being done by organizing nations and coming together. None of this shit. It's done by a single localized entity or source of information, whatever you want to call it,
Yep.
Devil, where the fuck, a single source line, and everyone else kicks in from country to country, no matter how different they are. It just happens.
Right.
But when you see this shit going on, you already know there ain't no organization of people getting together and figuring shit out.
No, they're not all meeting. Like, so how are they organizing this? It's like you said, there's got to be something that could actually transmit signals to all these people and make them do their will. Because I never seen 194 presidents get together and have a meeting about the plague. I call it the plague. This pandemic. How did they all get on the same page?
But they did. For you not to go to Antarctica, somehow the world powers agree you should not go to Antarctica or the North Pole.
Oh yeah, I was watching a show. They said you couldn't get all these people in a room together, even if you tried.
Yeah,
they're just unreliable, unpunctual. They'll be late, so it's an impossibility.
Even if they did, would they agree with each other? That's the thing.
And then to get them to agree. They can't agree on anything. The only thing that these powers have ever agreed on was Antarctica and this pandemic.
And North Pole, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do you notice there's only two things that the whole world ever agreed on? Yeah. And there were one or two countries that actually they didn't get to, but they got rid of their presidents.
You know? They'll overthrow them.
Yeah, like Ukraine had a different regime in there. And all of a sudden, this actor, transgender, I think he is, anyway, actor, Zelensky, came into power. And they got rid of the old people because they probably weren't involved and they wouldn't bite.
But also think about it. Why is it we all have flags? Why is it all militaries of the world have similar ranking systems, generals and whatever, soldiers and all that, Air Force and all that? Why is it there's so many similarities in the law? Oh, marijuana is illegal in all these countries. Only, before it was just Amsterdam, whatever. What does that fucking tell you? How is it all these fucking countries are on the same page on all that shit, but when it comes to actual, doing some stuff to actually help the mankind, no, that you just can't do that. But they can do all this other stuff,
They're always on the same page when it comes to control.
Exactly.
Controlling the people.
Exactly. So they're on the same page about, cocaine, heroin, everything else. Everything is, exactly how it is. They all have their own little flags. When you look at a map of the world, the official map of the world, just know that those countries you're looking at are fucking corporations. There's more land. There's more places they have not mapped out. They took out the fucking North Pole. They made Antarctica into a fucking continent, which is an ice. So you're looking at a very manipulated, modified version of the world through the map that they're showing you. That look, these are the countries we control.
Right.
These are the corporations, but outside of this, we don't want you to know what's outside of this and what we don't have control over. So when you realize that shit and you look at the map, you're like, God damn, this is. And then I don't know if you have the thing with the Google Images where you can look up restricted areas of the U.S. It's like, I don't know, over 70-80% of the U.S. is restricted areas that we cannot go into because of military, whatever. Which is why we're stuck in these massive cities. We can't use our own land. Can't you if we're actually paying for taxes and all that shit, they would have reserve areas just to grow vegetables and fruits and everything else for free from our own taxpayer money. That's on reserve land that can do that. But no, they're taking we need it for Area 51. We need 100 fucking kilometers of land for that, and we need another for this and that. It's like, what the fuck is that? How can you do that to the people? And then on top of that, you're gonna tax them. And you have all this fucking land, and we the people only get access to like 20% of the United States. It's ridiculous. I mean, look at that.
That's why they got us living in all these big cities, like you said.
Exactly.
Man,
it's like how hard would it be to designate some government property to grow fucking food? No, they can't even do that. What does that tell you?
Don't you see what they're doing here? Don't you see what they're doing in the United States? They're making it so the economy is so tough that these people are moving out of rural America and towards cities. That's
but what do you think about that? Your own government you pay for. If you
look at all the restricted areas
does not let you use.
I mean, Illinois, all the small towns are closed up.
But do you see all these restricted areas? Look at this.
Can you zoom it in?
And this is only what they're telling you. There's probably way more. But here,
no, there's another map that shows all of it. That only shows.
This is only showing a little bit of it, right?
That's only airspace.
Oh, this is airspace. Probably it's
You type in government, government restricted areas.
probably all this green is restricted. We're only allowed to live in the
put in government restricted areas.
government restricted areas in
Yeah.
U.S.
Yeah.
If you look at that, was it Starlink, and you look at their coverage area maps. Oh wow, what a trip!
Oh, it's not showing.
They can pinpoint.
Well, they don't want to show it because they heard you.
Yeah, I have a few images. I had a few images where it showed it was ridiculous.
Yeah, you got to see that.
Well, do you notice that too? That what's been happening, like a lot of subjects that we start talking about, all of a sudden the information is disappearing.
Gone, exactly.
On the internet.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why you need to grab it.
When people start to grab shit, here's another map trying to show you a lot of I don't know what it is, but anyway, when you find that map, definitely send it to me, Scribe. I like to see it myself.
Definitely. When I saw that shit, I was just like, you gotta be joking. This explains everything. This is why there's even poverty in the first place. They don't give a fuck. They're like, this is our shit. We can't help you. We don't care if you're starving to death and come up to our gate. We're gonna shoot you if you try to come in here and look at what we're doing, even though you paid for it. What the
right?
Just look at the logic behind that. It's like we're living. It's so insane. It's the same thing as the gravity thing. It's like this stuff is so simple, but so monumental on how it affects your life. But we just think it's normal because we never had someone say, "Look what's going on here. This is what's going on." And we have enough, like fucking everyone in the whole planet could live in Texas, for example. There's enough room in Texas for that. But you're saying it's overpopulated. There's no room to grow food.
That's not the story. What it is, we're reaping in our resources. It's not enough land. We're reaping in our resources.
I like what you said though the other day, Scribe. You said, and it made sense to me 100%. If you can't replicate something on the planet, like the Earth is spinning 1,000 miles an hour, right? So if you took a little rock and you made it spin 1,000 miles an hour, you couldn't keep water to stick on it. But yet they're telling us we got to believe that our oceans are sticking to the planet, spinning 1,000 miles an hour. If you can't replicate that, it ain't true.
That's right. Simple as that.
And people don't look at that simplicity. They'll invent 100 other excuses that are only theories, because gravity is a theory. There is no proof gravity exists.
Mm-hmm. And you know what they say? It's because the shadow and the moon and what it's like. We just got done telling you it cannot be replicated, but the shadow of the moon and the shadow of whatever the fuck experiment somehow proves it otherwise, right? So yeah, you're exactly right, because if they're able to get away with that logic of a 5-year-old, 3-year-old could figure this out, imagine what else they're getting away with. It's like the war stuff. It's like that's the least of it. If we don't even know what the fuck we live on, they changed science and took out critical elements from the past that all the ancient people knew about, and they just took it out, replaced it. What are we left with? So if they're lying about that kind of shit, it's like who knows what else, because this is on a level of manipulation where it's so ingenious. Again, there is I don't think any human group that could pull this off on a consistent basis, hundreds of years in chronology.
Don't you think they have a think tank? Just a big panel of men that do all these scenarios and crunch numbers and come up with stuff?
I guess in that particular scenario, humans would be a distraction because there would be probably too many arguments over what should be done. I think there's one clean-cut force of intelligence that's just guiding this whole thing. I don't see any deviation. I don't see any type of, we fucked up over here, let's go back. No, I've never seen that. Like we said, once they implement a law, Patriot Act, income tax, they never take it out. They will never take it out to benefit the humankind, because that was the plan from day one. And there is no deviation where people have emotions. They have, oh no, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. Let me take that out. No, whatever is driving this is so brutal, so calculative, it's almost like a fucking reptile with super intelligence. Like, it's so calculative, so precise. It never goes back on what it does. It never says, "Oh, fuck here." So that tells me that there's some type of, beyond super intelligence. Sometimes
that's why they're wussifying us. There's media and everything in our kids, so we don't fight because it's too. No, we just will comply.
Well, but Scribe's hitting it on the intelligence level. There is something so superior to us. Like,
oh yeah,
what is the percentage of our mind we use? 3%?
10%.
whatever it is, take 10%. I thought it was lower,
and that's what they claim. So
yeah. Imagine there's something out there, whether you want to call it the devil, an evil force, or whatever, that is 100 times smarter than us. We cannot compete with that. We can't compete with it. The smartest man on the planet can't even compete with that. So there is definitely something. I said this all the time. It's an impossibility to get 194 leaders, presidents, ministers, all on the same page to agree to something without something else influencing those people. And it's one genius level, I don't know what it is, force.
Yeah, because the natural way of men, we have that natural ego, the natural greed, where if you get 100 guys together, they're all going to try to do something to benefit themselves, to get over the other guy, right? So it's all competitive. Our natural state is that competitive thing going on. Whereas this thing doesn't think that way. There is no competitiveness. There is no nothing. It's just one route,
just a goal.
One straight line. Yeah, there is no deviation. There is no wavering. There is no getting scared. It just goes. There is no fucking, oh, let's wait. Let's put this on hold. No, none of that. It's so perfect. So when you think about it, it's almost like we have to go through this shit. This is part of the test.
People up there have a hit squad, and I'm sure there's been cases of some people being wiped out, and it's like, hey, you don't play our game. You see this hit squad? We're going to come out and do all this stuff.
Antarctica is a great example, though. If there's greed, if greed exists, which we all know does, right? Corporations are greedy. Then why aren't in any of them in Antarctica looking for the minerals that are there and all the stuff that's probably under that ice? That could be, there's probably a ton of oil under that.
They are. It's just you're not invited.
Right. So imagine not one corporation would be greedy enough to go in there. Of course they all are, but they're not allowed for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jeff Bezos could say one day, you know what? I want to check out Antarctica. I want to explore it. It's a childhood dream. Guess what? He ain't gonna go. I don't care if you're a billionaire. If you ain't part of that club,
Well, if he wanted to go, he can go, but he can't bring back any film or anything of what he's seeing.
No, you ain't going. You ain't because if he does see that shit, trust me, there's gonna be a point in his life where he's gonna be like, you know what? Before I die, I have to get this information out. It's just human. That's what I'm saying. That is humanity. That's even someone who's a murderer or a fucked up, rapist, whatever. At some point of their life, they're gonna have that humanity to come back to them and say, look, okay, I did all these fucked up things. Matter of fact, there's this thing over here in Antarctica. None of that. Whatever that is has no compassion, no empathy, nothing. It's literally a robot. Literally a machine is the only thing I can think of that could be that cold and calculative. And
and even Admiral Byrd, I think, was a chill. When he went there,
he was amazing.
And he went in a hole, and he said, I think they just threw a super curveball at us. Just to get us to think where it's probably something even way more deeper than what he described, like another piece of land.
Going.
It's way deeper than that, man. It's like probably like the fallen angels lived there, like something really deep. And they just threw the Admiral Byrd story at us just to satisfy some conspiracies. They actually want all the conspiracies about Antarctica. But here's the conspiracy. What the fuck is really over there?
Well, do you got a Siri or Alexa on you, anybody?
With all our technology, you're telling me we can't show all right, we're not allowed to travel there, but you're telling me we can't send a drone up there to go film beyond where humans are allowed to see what really is there?
Did you see the ancient Buddhist map I showed on the Wisdom Radio where it shows the outer rings, the land masses and the outer rings?
Oh, yeah. There's tons of land masses all around us. We don't even know.
Yeah, I told you.
The second ring. There's
I told you about what Siri
there must be another sun.
Said.
Yeah, there's another sun and moon that go around that. That's what creates the actual eclipses.
Alexis tells us there's a spaceship there, right?
Yeah, they tell us a spaceship that's there for 20 million years ago. So if that's the fallen angels that made with,
I think that's a bunch of BS.
Well, I'm just saying.
They can program Alexa to say anything they want.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. But why would they be letting her say this shit?
To make you think of conspiracy theory.
You know exactly where I'm getting at.
They want to take your eye off the ball. There's just probably a ton of land.
It's just how Wikipedia tells you gravity is real. It's the same thing. Same stupidity. They'll put that shit on there, but anything but the truth that they'll put on Alexa or Siri.
Now, what got me into the flat Earth I mean, I'm not a flat earther. Like I say, I'm on the fence. But what got me kind of like, hey, I'm going to do some investigation was Obama and we don't got time for that flat earth society. When usually when the government makes a joke about something, they're hiding something.
Yeah.
That's what I figured out and found out. So I'm still digging, still asking questions. And it's just to me.
But they put it out in your face on the United Nations.
There's a reason why, yeah, the United Nations. But just know why Obama said that, the Flat Earth Society, because that's the only recognized society that's been around for a long time, and it's actual opposition to the real, true Flat Earth.
Okay, so
group.
Who told me that the Earth spins 1,000 miles?
That's
Pops did. Pops did.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the total round circumference of the Earth is how long?
More than 25,000
miles.
Yeah.
Right.
So if our Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles in 24 hours, I should go on 24,000 miles.
360.
What happened to an extra 1,000 miles every day?
Right.
Shouldn't the sun fall back? But if it was on a flat Earth model, that makes a lot more sense.
Well, think about this: if the extra 1,000, right, in 24 days, it should be day and light should change where you live.
You know it. You
at
know
12 o'clock in the afternoon, it should be 12 o'clock midnight here now.
Yes, I don't give a shit about the what do you call it, the perception or leap year. That does not make sense. After every day we're missing 1,000 miles.
They're lying. The Earth ain't spinning at all.
I mean,
that's my precursor right there.
Like you can show the UN logo,
the flag.
Yeah, the flag logo. That's in your face, and it's basically look at it as a watch, like a watch on your wrist, and the center point is the North Pole. The ring around it is Antarctica, and there's more rings after that. But just look at it like a watch.
Yeah.
And the North Pole is an energy vortex, is the electromagnetic sphere that Tesla tapped into when he created the Tesla towers that emitted wireless energy that they got rid of. So he harnessed the electromagnetic grid.
You know anything about induction?
You know
anything about induction? That's what's going on. You know, you got your little cell phone and you get your tablet, you put your phone right on it and it charges your phone. That's induction.
Yeah,
induction
that's through the ether. That's wireless energy. That's Wi-Fi. That's every other thing that goes radio. All these things that go through the ether, but they don't want to tell you it's the ether. So, yeah, that's exactly what it is. So there's a vortex in the North Pole coming out from the center, the pole in the North Pole.
Right.
All the magnetic mountain.
Right, but now you see the sun as a big magnetic ball.
But I'm saying that's what's being emitted from the North Pole. The sun and moon are being emitted, projected from the North Pole, and so is the wandering stars and all around. That's one in a circle around above us.
And those ancient maps, they did explore. Those people explored. They were way more technology than we think. They hid all that from us. They seen all that land out there. And they drew a map. They just didn't imagine those things were there. They seen it.
No, a lot of the actual places they conduct business here is over there.
Right.
Yeah, but what's to say what's over there and all the armies of the world are pointing outward on this disc, guarding from what might come over this way.
They have to have another sun over there, too.
It's just like if there was aliens attacking, all of us would group up together. Well, that's what we're doing at our borders of our planet, is we're at each perimeter watching for what? What are we watching for?
Yep.
Well, so we're not allowed to go in those areas.
Oh, believe me, I would love
I think in Antarctica, there's actually like a tunnel or a gateway to go into that other land. And that's the only way to get there, to go through it.
Can you pull up that, since we're talking about Pops? Just go on the images and then pull up the Buddhist
flat earth
map. Yeah.
Okay.
Flat earth.
Now, I mean, what about just a frozen tundra, majorly big, and the sun, by being in the area and going around, has actually melted the snow and exposed the land, and they got the moon there because they say the moon is cold and the sun is hot. But this is what keeps this tundra from covering up the flat Earth.
Exactly.
I think we're in a big flat plane, and just somehow, like atoms, the sun is an atom and the moon's another atom, and it's just like an nucleus.
Yeah, it's like negative, positive charge.
Yes, exactly.
So,
but to me, what keeps that sun I mean, the sun is not as
But
far.
what do
as
you think
it's
keeps it up there? I'm trying to explain to people.
That's what I'm
it's
trying
the
to
North
figure out.
Pole vortex energy that's coming out of the North Pole is what creates that. So
Okay, like cold fusion, how you got the magnet that hovers.
All
yeah,
right,
I mean,
so,
well, it's much more powerful than that. It's an energy
But
vortex.
you know what I'm saying? The logic's behind it.
Yeah, it's some type of energy vortex that creates the plasma. It's a plasma. It's a celestial plasma.
Right.
Yeah, see
There we
right
go.
there. You see that? So the rings, the outer rings, and those are the equinoxes and all the different, you know.
I'm going to
representation.
download this image so I can blow it up even bigger. Hold on.
Yeah, the sun just moves in between
Let me
the
just-
equinox.
let me just
Because
fix
when it
this.
goes south of the equinox, Australia has its summer, and we have our
yeah.
winter. Then it kind of like moves in the other side of the equator. Then we have our summer, and they have their winter. If
Yeah,
that were on a planet that did this, and the sun's here, that don't make sense. I can find so many bullet holes in that situation. But
I mean,
in
they're trying to
school,
say the
as
sun.
I got in school, first thing I seen was a ground globe. Oh yeah, and I didn't think none the wiser.
Yeah, the Jetsons and all that. So that's it.
So you see it, right? You see all the landmass outside of. Hold on, what happened to it?
Oh,
Where'd it
you
go?
doxed yourself.
That's all right. I'll put it on again.
Well,
And
Look,
where is
it's
it?
nice to talk to thinkers instead of stinkers. You know that?
Exactly. I mean,
It's
well,
good to
from
talk
the
to you
image that
guys.
he's showing there, you see the rings, right? You
There
see
it
they
is.
call it the Lord of
Yeah.
the Rings. These are the rings. So imagine taking your finger right there in the North Pole and dip it in water and letting a droplet of water fall right in the center where the North Pole is. That same ring effect is what this is demonstrating.
Oh, ripple,
And
the ripple
ripple
effect.
effect. And that is the layers of the electromagnetic sphere, the energy going through the ether.
Pulsating.
creates
Now,
this
do we
pulsar,
want
yeah.
to really believe that this was all made up? Bullshit. Come on. Nobody just drew this out of their mind. Like, these are actually land. And now, is there a civilization outside of this? That's the question we have to ask. Are the fallen angels, is this where they all live? Or is there another alien race all living outside of us?
Are we just a big rat cage? And
We're a fishbowl. We're like
rat cage. So they can take some of us and populate over there and populate over there. Like we're like the
Yeah.
world's seed bank of people, the universe seed bank.
Yeah, we're like a TV show. Yeah, the Earth. I don't know. I mean, I should be blowing up outside of this realm here. I mean, these people should all know
Yeah.
who I am by now.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of my friends, family, and everything. Yeah, they're waking up. My sister, she's like the most important one in the family because she's most successful. Yeah, she's honking the horn. At first, when I honked it to her, she thought I was a little. Now she's calling me. Hey, what about this? What about this? And I was like,
Well, you look at
It's like,
all
how
the.
do you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, keep going.
He's like, how do you know in this stuff?
Yep.
Well, first of all, here's something. I'll do some research on it, and I'll kind of like put my common sense on it. You got to put the pieces together, and if it rings true to you, then hey,
Yeah, and
Go
that's
for it.
the thirst of knowledge. And some people go a lot of their life without even thinking about it, and then something happens one day. Now all of a sudden they have this sudden thirst. They have to know more and more and more.
But I
Yeah.
had to go through a year without saying nothing to nobody, like the 9/11 thing. Oh, it took me a little balls to say, fuck it. I don't give a shit what people, think of me. I don't care if my family thinks I'm crazy now.
Yeah.
This is go time. And I did that back in 2005.
Yeah, me
But
too.
now they all believe everything I
Yeah,
say.
they know now. They know they've seen it happen. Now it's too much has
And it's
happened
like,
to
what do we
ignore
do?
it.
What do we do? What do
Yeah.
we do? And I
But,
tell them what to do, but you see them on the internet, like on YouTube, talking to people. No, they rather just watch the TV and say, "Hey, okay."
When you go to the supermarket, nobody talks about anything really. What's going on? They talk about bullshit.
But isn't it cool when you find somebody to same idea? Like, hey, you're stuck talking to these people.
Look at this landmass, though. Outside of this, it probably would make up 4 or 5 more Earths. Like, if you took all this landmass, you got like another 4 or 5 planets. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's a lot of.
yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
I mean, and that's the landmass that Admiral Byrd was talking about, the tip of Argentina right there. He's saying it's big as the U.S. that has all these natural resources.
Right.
So I don't know if they were already doing it or if that just because it looks like they're trying to make it seem like, oh, he, for people that are woke, oh, he went over there, he saw this piece, of land, and then it was untouched by human hands, came back, he reported about it, and he went on the news about it and did it publicly. I don't know if you can. Yeah, you can play that part if you go on YouTube.
What,
Pops,
you mean Admiral Byrd?
Yeah, when he goes on the TV show.
Yeah, but
we know
he
he's a
claims,
Freemason.
but he claims he went down a tunnel. See, that's what I don't get. Like, he didn't claim like he passed Antarctica and he seen this shit. He claims he went underneath the earth.
No, that was the North Pole. He went to the
that
North
was
Pole.
the hollow Earth theory.
Yeah,
Well,
that was the
let's
North
pull
Pole.
up Admiral Byrd. What are we looking for? Admiral
There's a
Byrd
different
what?
guy.
Admiral Byrd?
Interview,
Flat Earth?
TV interview. Yeah,
Yeah, it's all over the place. TV interview.
because that didn't come out till like a few years after they were talking about Admiral Byrd and the flat Earth and all that. And then,
Well, was he set up to say that? I mean, do you really think they
I
would
don't know. Just hear
allow
what he
him?
says. Just hear what he says, and then we can discuss it. Because to me, I'm like, shit. If this is, they're trying to that this is real. But because remember, right after this interview, the Greada Treaty, where they got all the countries to agree, we have to close off the Antarctica.
Right.
Was after this interview, so that gives it a lot of credibility.
Well, I gotta download. If I share it on my screen, the volume don't work. I don't know why.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you share it on the screen, it works. But I can download it into.
Are you checking the little box when you go to share it? Okay.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
There's something up with StreamYard. Here, let me just try. Right? Let me try it just to see.
You
if it
can
works.
use a device called ASIO. ASIO.
Here, I'm gonna try to share the screen. Right? I check share audio. Right?
Okay.
Share system audio.
Can you share your screen when you're doing this so I can see what you're doing so I can kind of like maybe help you?
Well, I basically did it. I clicked it right now. Tell me if you hear anything.
No, I do not.
This is the problem with StreamYard. I don't know
All right.
why.
What browser are you using?
I'm using Chrome.
Okay. Wow. I'm using Chrome too.
Yeah. But if you actually pull it up and share it, it'll work. Don't ask me why.
Because
try pulling it up, MacGyver. Again, try pulling it up.
No, man. It's probably gonna have some virus to it. My shit's not gonna work.
Oh, okay, I got you. Well, I'm gonna download it and then I can load it into StreamYard and share it.
What about share the link? No, I've been doing this with people. Just putting the link below and have everybody get their page ready.
We'll pull it up in a minute.
I'm just saying to avoid copyright because there's a lot of stuff I want to show people.
Well, do you know when you download it and then recopy it, like in Windows, the copyright IP that's on the top,
right.
Like it's not there anymore because now you download it.
Well, I'll just get my camera and videotape it. I got a nice high def camera that picks it up.
Don't worry, it's not the end of the world.
Not yet. Not yet.
I will find a copy that's good.
Oh boy, where'd my camera go?
All right, so I got this copy here. I'm gonna download it. Don't take long.
Yeah, you can download, convert, and upload to StreamYard.
Right, right. Upload it in StreamYard.
Yeah, I got that video.
What, Admiral Byrd?
Yep.
All right, hold on.
I'll watch it again. I don't care. I like it.
All right, so let's put on. Well, you can pause it, like play for a minute or two. We'll talk about what he says. Then we play for another few minutes, like instead of watching the whole thing in one shot. That's how you avoid the copyright shit too. You got to play a little at a time.
It's in one specific area. I can tell you where it is. But yeah, we can go through a little bit of it. But it's like what? How long's that one? Like over 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll play a couple of minutes. We'll talk about it. Then we'll go a few more minutes into it.
Yeah, I think it's towards the middle or so. But yeah, give me 1 minute. I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
My conspiracy mask.
So where is it? You got it up, MacGyver?
No, you didn't give me a link.
Oh, you want me to give you the link? All right, hold on.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I have the video, but it's like, I got to go through my archives. Matter of fact, I need to start organizing my shit, put conspiracy, 9/11, this, that.
I actually have zip drives that I do that. Instead of keeping it all on my computer because it'll take up all your memory,
Right, Pops. Is there like a place maybe we can start, start a Dropbox? It's free. It's 2 gigs online where you start dumping our videos. So people can say, here's the link, but we'd have to give them our email and password for that account to get into the Dropbox.
Well, we'll work on that afterwards.
Right, because I got some videos, I would like you guys to see.
All right, so let me see something.
You watching the Jim Brewer show at all?
No, who's Jim Brewer?
Jim Brewer conspiracy. This guy here, you can get topics and talk about.
Oh, give him put his
He's
link. I'm gonna
good.
subscribe
He's
to him.
good. Oh, he's funny as hell. You know Jim Brewer, the comedian from Saturday Night Live?
No, I'll look it up right now. YouTube, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find you the link.
Don't
real
worry, I'll
quick.
find him. Jim Brewer.
Yeah.
How do you spell his name? Jim what?
Well,
Brewer, BREW or BREY?
But it's not Jim Brewer. He's called it Brewster. He's got a name to it. Let me.
Oh,
go through
Brewster.
Yeah.
He's a comedian. He has
Yeah.
He wears two guns.
I don't know about the guns, but
He wears two shoulder guns. I know who he is. He has a thing where he pisses on YouTube. His animation pisses on the YouTube button.
No, Jim Brewer's brewing. There we go. I got it right here.
I think I belong to him already.
Copy. Jim Brewer's Brewerverse.
All right, send me. Well,
Okay,
you got
here
the
it
link.
is. Here's the link right
get it.
here, and I got it. Here's Jim Brewer. Yeah, he's starting to piss off the media. He used to be in Hollywood. He tells you all the bullshit that they're doing to him. But see,
Oh, I never seen this guy. I got
he
him.
could be a misdirector, but he's talking about the pedophile. He's talking about Pinocchio and with the boys. Remember?
Yeah.
There's a saying that they said about the boys that go to this island and never come back.
I wonder if you could hear it when
Did you see Pinocchio? That's about pedophile bullshit. You'll see some of that stuff in that movie.
Of course it is. Full interview. Let me see if this will share. If I share it, if it'll play the sound. Let me see. If not, I got to download it. Hold on. Let me.
And
I got
the
rid
guy
of
I shared the link for you, Scribe. Yeah, he lives right by you. Him and his girlfriend had a tiff. Well, they had kids, but they weren't getting married, but they weren't getting along. So she's got her own island right next to him, but he's by himself, and he's asking people, hey, if you want to come to my island, I'll teach you a solar panel. I'll teach you how to work with fiberglass, makes boats. He got away from civilization.
Tell me if you...
Yeah, man. You come out Boca Sotoro. Yeah, that place is...
Tell me if you can hear this now. I'm going to share screen again.
Okay.
And I'm going to share audio. Now, I got it just playing on my movie thing. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Wait, tell me if you can hear this. You can't hear it, right?
I hear police sirens.
Yeah, skip it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't hear
it. You can't hear it. All right. It's weird, man. All right.
You got the link to that?
Hold on.
Just
I
give
just
me that
wanted to
link.
say, yep. Admiral Byrd.
So it has the subtitles in there?
Yeah. Put link in private chat there, and I'll put it up. And then you tell me when to stop it so we can discuss.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, do that.
So hold on. There we go. All right. So let me get the link off of YouTube.
Right.
And
you got to sign a waiver with me because I have some of my computer and shit, you know. Hey, I kid you not. I was talking some heavy shit. My modem fucking just boom turned off on me.
I believe you. I'll put it
I
in
was like, what? It never happened like that before. And
this thing's got 32 million views. I don't think it's gonna do anything.
Got the link.
Yeah. See if when you play it, you hear it. If not, I'll have to download it into StreamYard. But StreamYard's a real pain in the ass because they only let you download up to 10 minutes.
Got it. All right, so we're going to go to StreamYard. We're going to go share. We're going to go share. We're going to hit the little share your audio. Click on the page and share. Bring me up. My screen showing?
Yep. Now let's see if we can hear it.
Yeah.
I hear it. All right, so start it from the beginning.
Is that Richard?
Yeah, see, I don't understand why I can't have it play on my own freaking computer. It's crazy.
Your computer lit. Is it too loud?
It's time for the launching.
Leave it.
No, it's fine.
It's fine.
Of the important issues of the hour. Brought to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
I think it's more towards the middle, I think.
Of the Longines Which Nor Watch Company.
Unless you guys want to see the beginning, but the middle.
The world's most honored watch.
Go to
Yeah,
the
try right
interview.
there. Right there. See if it starts.
Longines.
You've been to both the North Pole and the South Pole. Is there any unexplored land left on this?
Yeah, this is it, right?
That might appeal to adventurous young Americans?
Yes, there is. And not up around the North Pole because it's getting crowded up there now because they find out it's really usable, not only to live in, but militarily. But strangely enough, there's left in the world today an area as big as the United States.
Okay, militarily, you're at the center hub of a flat Earth. They can branch out in either direction.
That's never been seen by a human being. And that's beyond the pole on the other side of the South Pole from Middle America. And I think it's quite astonishing that there should be an area as big as that unexplored.
That's a tremendous
So
challenge.
there's a lot of adventure left down at the bottom of the world.
Admiral, do you hope to see that?
I do.
Well, Admiral,
Yeah.
would you say that since you've been to both the extremities of Earth, are these expeditions to such far-off places, are they getting easier because of modern techniques, or is danger still close at hand?
Well, it's a little risky, but nothing like it used to be with the old slow planes and the small cruising radius where we had to put down bases. We replaced the dog teams.
Don't forget to yell stop.
Yeah, pause for a second.
Yeah, pause it for a minute.
Yeah, but basically, I go back where he says on the other side of the South Pole. That is the critical point right there. It's like, wait a second. So when you look at a map, where's the other side of the South? There is no other side. So
Right.
that right there, he just
Well, it's a little risky, but
no, before that.
Before, keep going
Like a
back.
minute.
left down at the bottom of the world.
Admiral, do you hope to see
on the other side of the South Pole?
Right there, other side of the South.
On the other side of the South Pole, and then at the bottom of the world. So he's trying to say there's a round Earth, though.
Yeah, so he's indoctrinated himself. That's the funny part is that he's clashing with the Antarctica theory at the time.
Right.
And he basically disproved it right there by saying, no, there's another landmass.
You know he's a Freemason, right?
I think they had to tell us. Like, you know how they always gotta, tell you once.
Yeah, that's the contradiction.
Yeah, so he
Almost like he
contradicts himself.
he didn't even understand that. Wait, there is no other side of the South Pole.
Right. When he said the bottom of the world, he contradicted himself.
Yeah, that means that he's still thinking that in that way. But the fact that he also said the other side of the South Pole.
Also, look at his eyes.
Right, but so the other
He's
side of the South
thinking.
Pole is a flat Earth.
I think he
Right.
fucked up when he said that.
Yes, he's
Joe
not looking
Rogan
straight at
does
the
this.
camera.
Joe Rogan's a pro at doing this. If you
Yeah,
watch
when he
Joe
looks away
Rogan,
from the camera, they're lying.
he's thinking. He's thinking
Yep.
about what he's going to say next.
Yep, you got it.
Because really, let's face reality. Would they let him say that if they didn't want him to say it? Of course not. They allowed this because I really believe that the one thing they have to do is they have to tell us the truth, even if it's in a comedy. But they have to tell us at least once.
But notice quickly after this, that's when the Greater Treaty came in. You can't go there anymore and all that. So, they told us through this, and then that was it. So, yeah.
Yeah, so they did tell
I
us
think it's quite
to prove how dumb we are as a human race.
astonishing that there should be
Astonishing.
an area as big as that unexplored.
Astonishing as in the government lied to us.
There's a lot of adventure left down at the bottom of the world.
Admiral, do you hope to see that?
The bottom
I
of the
do.
world.
Well, Admiral,
Yeah.
would you say that since you've been to both the extremities of Earth, are these expeditions to such far-off places, are they getting easier because of modern techniques?
Wait, pause for a second, because if
Well,
this was broadcasted today and this guy, an admiral, 5-star admiral, whatever, was up there saying this shit, there would be a massive viral media, story about this shit. Wait, this guy's saying there's something beyond the South Pole. But at the time period, it was normal because back then we didn't have all this crazy shit.
Now, nobody ever debunked this guy and said he was crazy back then, but
Exactly.
now they're saying he's crazy. See, now, because now we're too smart. Keep
Yeah,
playing.
they gotta make
All
a
right.
bank.
It's a little risky, but nothing like it used to be with the old slow planes and the small cruising radius where we had to put down bases. We replaced the dog teams, and of course that was a big improvement. But now the planes go much faster and they are safer, and they have a much bigger cruising radius. You haven't got the danger of a terribly heavy load.
Admiral, an expedition to which I believe you're the advisor is now en route. What is that expedition doing?
Well, that's the icebreaker Atka, and it's a reconnaissance expedition. It's going down to the South Pole area to make certain observations and to look for some bases. They will be back in April, and they will report back, and upon the information we get from that undertaking, we will base the bigger expedition that's to follow.
Is that very definitely planned, or is that...
That is being planned right now. So I'm willing to say to you that there will be a number of expeditions that will follow, I think, year after year, the bottom of the world, because the government has really become interested.
Okay, pause right there. Pause right there.
Yeah, and I think
See, this is where he had those plans from earlier until he said just now there's something beyond the South Pole. So basically, they had plans to keep going there, plans to keep going
But yet
deeper.
they don't share anything with us.
No, but then they cut it off. That's when they cut after this interview. They pretty much cut it off at that point because they were supposed to go back several more. He was supposed to go back several more times to
We don't
give
want
more.
to go back there. We don't want to kill people.
Exactly. So they cut that shit off right there, and they're like, no, we can't.
Right.
All right.
Can't allow that.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit play. I'm going to run and get a coffee real quick, so I should be back
We
here.
could always talk while it's playing anyway.
All because it's so near our greatest challenger, Soviet Russia. But why this interest in the bottom of the world? Nobody living down there, is there?
No, it's pretty cold. There's only one permanent resident. That's the emperor penguin. The little ones live further north.
The emperor
I
penguin.
tell you one reason they're interested.
That's funny. Yeah.
It's by far the most valuable, important place left in the world for science. That's why the scientific groups all over the nation are really interested. But more important than that, it has to do with the future of the nation, those to come after us, or even during your lifetime, because it happens to be an untouched reservoir of natural resources. And, as the world shrinks with an ever-increasing acceleration, far-flung places, once useless, like we thought the North Pole was, and no man's land, become very useful. The bottom of the world will be important, not only to us, but to our allies.
I was going to ask you, does it have military
he said a lot right there.
It has some, and as the world shrinks, it will continue to shrink.
He says as the world shrinks, they knew that, internet and all this shit was going to happen.
And in the future,
Exactly. As the world shrinks,
see a time when it will be very, very important strategic.
Very important.
Was
Of course it's important. What the fuck is over there?
Exactly.
Like the
Oh, very much so.
Palma Peninsula was that?
Very much so. Even now, if anything happened and we lost the Panama Canal,
There you
we would
go.
have to control the islands just north of Antarctica, which are part of Antarctica, and between there and Cape Horn.
I've heard it said that there are 7 continents in the world, and one of them has never been seen by a woman, and that's Antarctica. Is that actually true?
Well, if the Palma Peninsula is an island, as far as I know, that's true. No woman stepped foot upon the Antarctic continent, and it's the most peaceful place in the world.
Well, I'm sure that won't last very long.
You notice how they said no
See,
woman?
The Arnold Bread.
Yeah, what was that part? Yeah.
Now, is there any future?
Well, he walked away, so I can't pause it.
Yeah, he's basically saying everyone's gonna be going down there, and then all of a
Human
sudden,
race can be
they
helped
barred it.
by that. This was thought out by Dean Arnold, who's, in my opinion, the great humanitarian. He learned that we went down there after 4 or 5 years and finished a meal that we had left there on the table when we had evacuated Little America. Everything was perfect, including the bread.
What is Little America?
This frozen
I guess
bread.
South America. He keeps calling
Already,
it.
I'm
he
back.
sent some to- he
I'm
sent
back.
Yeah,
some to
pause
yours.
that for a minute,
Very.
just to break it up. So you're hearing the shit he's saying. It's crazy.
Yeah, he might have to back up to hear that shit. I mean,
Nah, it don't matter. We could go forward, but like for him, that MacGyver don't care. He heard this 100 times. But you think
I
about
got
what
it.
he's saying. He's saying there's there's a piece of land that we've never touched with many resources. Now, let's say that is true. What country gets it? We would go to war over that land,
Yeah.
right? So maybe that's another reason why they don't want no, because who gets a piece of what? You know, does America get?
Now, come on, pops. You know, if there was that we'd figure something out. There'd be some. There wouldn't be super secret.
No.
Death on sight.
Why weren't we fighting to get to the moon?
If that really existed, China, Russia, and the U.S. would just tally it up.
Yeah, something. I mean, there's a lot more land beyond that. So I don't know why you'd be having the fight. It's an exploration race.
Could you imagine there's dinosaurs and shit over there? That'd be real wild.
That's another one we got to do about because if you heard of Eric Dubé, he has a whole thing about why dinosaurs are fake or they never existed, and it's interesting because he says that it goes back to the 1850s where the first dinosaur bones and shit were discovered. It's like, well, you're telling me so thousands of years have passed and nobody's ever discovered this shit. So it's crazy.
I bet if giants live over there, like much bigger people.
Yeah, I've heard like the
fallen. Or the what do you call them? The Nephilim?
Nephilim, yeah, the six-fingered, six toes. Well, the ones like in Afghanistan, supposedly, when they went over there and fought the war, some soldiers encountered these giant.
What about these people that have 6 toes? I know a girl down the block from me had 6 toes.
Yeah, that's a throwback. Just like you see people have tails, they cut them off, the appendages when they're born.
Or what if they got a dam there and they got all the water dammed up and they could flood us anytime they want and restart? Like Noah, right? Imagine that.
But did you notice you got like a lot of people like they had Down syndromes? I don't care what nationality or color you are, they all look alike in a way.
Right.
Down syndrome.
Why is it Down syndrome all look similar?
Yeah, and there's another one too. There's other diseases they say. I can't remember that one. Like dwarfism. They look like the alien grays.
Yeah, what is he talking about now here?
In a
Starving
way.
people. What is that? I didn't hear that. Let's play it. Let's see what he says.
All right.
Worked very well over that for some of the starving people.
That's okay.
So you can store it down to the Antarctic and against the lean years, and you wouldn't have any people in the world really.
He's basically saying starving people, as in there's open resources for everybody. You just have to get down there.
Right.
So meaning that again, even during this time, everything's fucked up. In the U.S.
Or what's to say that all these people that are dying, right? Supposedly, what if they're being shipped over Antarctica to something over there that's nice, like Shangri-La or Eden?
Yeah, exactly. The fake like Tupac, whoever.
And the people that do this, it's like, you know what? I'm tired of this fucking world. I want to just go over there and live in peace.
Yeah, makes sense.
I don't know. You never know.
Well, maybe they're, hoarding us as cattle, and they bring some of us over there because they drink blood. Whoever these
To entertain them
Nephilim
too. To entertain them too.
We're like cattle.
But yeah, if I was in charge of my own thing, dear, don't you think I would want some entertainers coming over and yeah.
The resources of Antarctica, what are they? What are the natural resources there?
Well, we've found enough coal within 180 miles of the South Pole in a great ridge of mountains. It's not covered with snow, enough to supply the whole world for quite a while.
Well,
that's the coal. Now, there's evidence of many other minerals. We are pretty sure there's oil. Now, that coal shows the bottom of the well. Now, by far the coldest spot in the world. Where that coal is gets 100 below zero in the winter.
Well,
it was once tropical. So we think there's oil there, and there's evidence, probably uranium there.
is it any secret? Is there uranium there? That would be the only thing that would be practical to actually go after, I suppose. Everything else would be economically.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, this uranium thing back in the 30s, 40s, 50s.
Yeah, I think this is.
They had cartoons about uranium. Uranium was this. The main thing was uranium. What was the big hype up for uranium for?
Well, I mean, war.
Of course.
I mean, so yeah, exactly. So it's he's trying to speak like mainstream regular, but then all these little things are coming out.
Right.
Like, yeah, it could help poor people.
They didn't have the media quite tamed down like they got it now.
Exactly. And this is before they put all the restrictions in Antarctica. So this is when you get to see the real uncensored, stuff coming out of the horse's mouth, coming out of the Admiral's mouth. So
you know what Nipplegate was all about then.
Nipplegate.
Yeah, Janet Jackson, Timberlake
Oh,
poster.
yeah.
I call it Nipplegate. Well, so you can get the 10-second delay, or what was it? A 10-second delay. So if anybody trips, they can, boom, cut it. Couple of these people were on some talk shows, and they said something, and you see the what do you call it? The host just freeze, like, "Oop, we're not supposed to say that." You see them shit?
Yeah, shit's funny, man.
It's funny when they get tripped. Then they're looking around at their producers. What should I say? What should I do? I don't want to lose my job. I don't want to get fired. You know?
Yeah.
Are we waiting for Pops, or are we playing it?
I think he left for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
All
got
right, play it. All right, playing it then.
Unfeasible, wouldn't it?
Well, as we recklessly expend our resources, the time will come when we'll have to go after that stuff down there.
Well,
I avoided what you said about uranium. I'm not sure about that. I don't want to have the world fighting over the Antarctica.
Admiral, is there a competition among other nations to try to get information?
I don't want to have the world fight over the Antarctic. Dude.
Yep.
That's how excited. That's how excited he is about that shit. Like, look, we're gonna have to come here anyway, regardless in the future, especially now.
But you see how they're hiding so much shit from us even back then?
Exactly. Yeah. You get a glimpse of it before they put the treaty in there.
I see why everybody wasn't fighting to get to the moon.
And possibly to secure some of these resources?
Yes. There are now 7 nations very much interested. Russia is interested tremendously. That I'm sure of.
But wait, can you pause for one second? I said a really quick thing. It's like, you see, this is in the in the 50s. So the moon was late 60s, right? And the whole thing with Russia. So it almost seems like they found all this stuff, or they're letting us know about it. There's all this stuff out there. Then they blocked it off, and then they switched from that to what? Going to the moon to say, look out there instead of look over here, and keep everyone focused on going to the moon.
Probably some of the ships they send are going over there delivering supplies.
Do you know what? They're always, since back in the day, they've been always saying Russia, Russia, Russia. You notice that? But when I talked to my wife's cousin who married a Russian bride and brought her son over here, it's America, America, America over there for them. Ain't that weird?
That's the opposition.
All right. So this is the Cold War that they're fabricating on us.
Yeah.
Because every you talk about Russia, even before Putin's war, Russia.
That's the excuse to say, look, we got to get funding because Russia might go to space first, or Russia might go to South Pole first. Yeah, that's what it is.
Then you can wonder where all those gold toilets and diamond pens have gone because they lost a lot of money and shit. Oh my God, it's just a bunch of bullshit. I'm playing it now.
The Argentine, the Chile, New Zealand, Britain, and so on. Now, you can understand those people down there being interested because they live down there. The New Zealanders, the Argentinians, the Chileans, and the Australians. And so we don't do much about claiming anything.
Admiral, you make it sound a little crowded. Are there that many expeditions now there or en route there?
Well, you know, as I said, it's the most peaceful place in the world, but I don't think it will be for long because of this intense interest on the part of other nations and this nation.
Well, Admiral Byrd, are private expeditions a thing of the past? Is expedition and exploration, making expedition and exploration now purely a government function because of the tremendous cost?
No, I don't think so. I think down south, it may be more or less a thing of the past, but not other expeditions that go. There's a lot of them go north now.
This latest expedition now on the way is a government expedition, I take it.
Yes, that's the government.
Admiral, may I ask you, is there a great difference between the top of the world and the bottom of the world?
There is. Now, the North Pole is the center of an ocean 10,000 feet deep. The South Pole, the center of a plateau, 10,000 feet high. The North Polar Sea is surrounded by continents slightly frozen.
Tripping.
The Antarctic continent is surrounded by a belt of ice, frozen seas of at least 1,200 miles thick. Now, the south is a plateau. It gets, in some places, 14,000 feet up. I've been over areas about 13,000, and it's a little bit chilly up there. So there's that big.
Yeah, he said some shit right there that's really crazy because
he was tripping his words.
Yeah, and in the center part of where the North Pole is, there is another outer ring of ice that you have to pass to get to the center, and that's the part he's talking about. So I don't know. He claims to have been in the center, but that's where he talks about the UFOs and all the crazy shit going on there, which could be true because there are, we have plenty of evidence of the UFO stuff. So he's giving you the elevation and declination of the height of because the Antarctica is supposed to be around average 200 foot above sea level to keep the water in, so it's always going to be higher. So that's why when they go over there, they got to have the ships bring in like helicopters, all kinds of shit to bring up all the equipment to the top of the ice. So it's a big containment unit. So he's describing the whole thing right here. It's crazy. It's awesome. I mean, I never watched it this far in. I remember watching the beginning part, and I was like, man, that's already. But this part, he's describing more stuff. That's pretty amazing.
All right, push play.
Between the top and bottom of the world. The North really isn't very cold up there on the Arctic Ocean.
Compared to the South. Admiral Byrd, we often hear it said that our young Americans now aren't as hardy as their forefathers. Do you think that Americans do measure up to the standards, the physical standards and morale standards of the past?
I do. I don't believe that. I think they're just as hardy.
Well, what would you say was the most valuable factor on expedition? Is it morale, or physical courage, or is it sheer equipment?
I'm doing all right with
Well, I've always thought that loyalty was by far the most important trait. The British told me
Pops right now.
that when I first went down 28, I couldn't possibly get through the winter night without a mutiny if I took more than 20 men. But to serve science, I had to take 42 men. And I took 56.
Yeah, I'll be over. I need to talk to Rolling
so
Tom.
on.
I need to talk to him.
So, and I did find that loyalty was the most important thing during the winter night. It's very hard on your nerves.
All right.
I think that's straight.
That's a very valuable characteristic at any time. Well, thank you very much, Admiral Byrd.
Why do they care about loyalty? You mean keeping quiet?
Yeah, exactly.
What is the big thing about loyalty? Why is that such an important thing about Antarctica? Basically,
it's like
shut
our
your
parents.
mouth. Don't
It's like our parents. It's like our parents. We believe in everything they told us when we were growing up with their young minds.
If you really pay attention to his what he's saying, he gives up a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Yep. Just got
Not even, and he don't even know he's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's just trying to read the script or whatever he's doing in his mind, and he's fucking up.
On the Longines Chronoscope were those of the speakers. The editorial board for this edition of the Longines Chronoscope was Larry Lasser and Kenneth Crawford.
Now, you believe that whole thing wasn't scripted out? Of course it was. Even the announcer's questions were scripted.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But we'll get rid of that now. But yeah, if you listen to that interview, man, he contradicts himself. And why is the bottom of the South Pole so high and the top so low? I don't get that either. Like, that don't make any sense to me. Why are there plateaus in the south and in the north? It's below. Like,
yeah, because the South Pole, which is Antarctica, is the ice ring that contains the ocean, so it has to be a few hundred feet higher than the ocean.
There you go. Right there, that's why. Yep,
yeah.
Now it makes, because it surrounds the whole planet too.
Yeah, so he's telling you right there exactly the whole thing.
Now, you ever see Game of Thrones?
Mm-hmm.
Where they got that ice wall? Yep. And they're keeping out all the evil out of the planet, and then at the end they come. Them evil. Right. Maybe that's really what's going on. Maybe there's a lot of evil shit behind that wall.
Remember Tolkien, Lord of the Rings. That tells you everything right there.
Right.
One ring to rule them all.
Yeah, and then there's multiple rings that go farther, as we saw with the land. He's talking about there. And in the center, there's another ring that surrounds the North Pole. So this is like a tree. When you chop a tree down, you look at it and you see the rings. You can tell how old it is. That's literally the drop.
And we live in Middle Earth, I would imagine.
Midgard. That's why they call this Midgard. So we're supposedly in the middle. So
those Hollywood movies, believe it or not, they give up a lot of.
Oh yeah, they have to.
What's really true fantasy.
Yeah.
I love Lord of the Rings, though. I gotta admit, I could
All
watch.
right.
I could watch the trilogy right now.
Does
You
it
heard the
basically
phone ringing, right? You guys heard my phone ringing?
Yeah,
I
you were
gotta
talking.
go
We
to
heard you
I
talking.
gotta go to the old folks next door. They're having an
All
issue.
right, don't worry, guys. Go do what you got to do.
All
We'll
right,
see you
thank
next time.
I'll be back probably if you're still here.
Yeah, I may not be on by then. Let's get some of the comments then that people said. Because I wasn't paying attention to them. So, oh no, flat Earth again, Trinity. No, we're talking about what are they hiding, by the way. And Pops exiled 1. The Drake passage is brutal. No sleep. I don't know what that means. The Drake passage. Do you know what that means, Scribe?
No.
And Trinity Trails. This is the best when you guys get talking about crazy shit. I don't really consider it crazy to want to know what the fuck's beyond that ice barrier.
Yeah, I mean,
See, but this is what they want people to believe. We're crazy. You see?
Yep. Exactly.
This is what they want. You guys are making them win. Don't we all realize one thing? What is over there? Why are they hiding it? I believe it's so important it would change the world. That's why they're hiding it.
I mean, this is beyond hiding because they're putting that inner ring. They're taking that inner ring of the UN flag or the symbol and saying, okay, now we're going to take this fucking ring and make it into a ball. So now no matter where you go, you end up back here. So if you try to escape us, there's consequences because now you're going to be met with deadly force if you try to go to the south, to the outer ring, to Antarctica or the North Pole. So they're letting you know this inner ring is interlocked and you're not allowed access outside of this area, hence the Lord of the Rings. So, I mean,
but I don't know if there's somebody's saying lizard people. I don't know if there's lizard people there.
Well, I mean, I probably don't know, but we can establish that when we put this now into a perspective where there's other lands outside of this that they're not telling us about and even beyond that, and they control all that. Imagine the power they got control here because they're controlling not only here, but all that other shit out there, right?
Yeah, or maybe there is another species out there. Maybe they look like us and they're just bigger. I mean, we don't know.
I mean, all we do know that they've been exploring that since Byrd said that. That's 70 years ago.
Yep.
So whatever they've been doing for the last 70 years and not telling us about it,
That's
or
right.
if they've already been involved and just happen to have to tell us about it or whatever. So we don't know how long they've been running that shit.
Yeah. So that's right. What is he talking about, Uncle Guns? Planet 10.
The 8th dimension, 10th planet.
Oh, no, you're into some real crazy shit, Uncle Guns. So you're deep. Look, I don't know. All I know is here's what I do know. They're hiding something. That's it. That's what I know. That's as much as I could say is I know they're hiding something.
I'm just saying now that you know there's outer rings and there's more to this planet that they claim.
Right.
How does that put the power structure now? Is it just a bunch of guys that are rich and their family, bloodline shit? Or is this something way beyond that? Because now we realize they're only showing us 10% of what we live on.
Mm-hmm.
So that means they got all the resources. Some shit goes down. They got resources from all those outer rings that we don't know about, and they're bringing all that stuff in. We have no idea. You can't fight a war like that.
Right. I believe it's way beyond our comprehension, too.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
The Truman Show, I believe it. There's an end of the wall, and yep.
It's definitely a Truman Show, man. Something going on.
And maybe this is all an experiment. They wanted to see how long is it going to take humans to realize, because whatever they want to call us, how long is it going to take them to realize all this shit and actually find out? Because they've been hiding this shit forever.
Mm-hmm.
2,000 years of hiding.
Shit, what do you even know? I mean, they've rewritten history so many times. We don't even know how long it's been or what's really going on.
Yeah.
Just see these little glimpses. No, man, we gotta take 100 years to study cannabis. Meanwhile, you're making fucking Prozac and all this shit to make that legal. Totally synthetic, totally known to fuck people up. But yet, with marijuana, no, they gotta go and we don't have the studies, we don't have evidence, really. So it's been there since the dawn of fucking man, and you haven't been able to study it yet, right? Just stupid, moronic excuses that any kid can figure out. We just fall for that shit like it's nothing. I mean, crazy. And that's why I'm kind of giving up on, on people waking up on that scale, on that level.
Yeah.
Because it's just.
Well, look at what Uncle Gunn said. If they're hiding something, that means it's hidden, so you'll never know they are hiding something. No, they're hiding it because if they let us over there, we'll see it with our own eyes. And that's why they're hiding it. Or else we would be able to explore there if it was hidden and we couldn't find it. Wouldn't that be correct?
Mm-hmm.
If we couldn't see it, they would let us over there. Yep. But they're not. So it's not a coincidence every single country agreed. I really think they had no choice to agree.
No, exactly.
I think they were told, we'll wipe you out if you don't agree.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we'll let the water in and flood you to death. Like maybe we're below this other world and they could flood us out like they did with Noah's Day, supposedly. Maybe the Noah story really was them wiping us out and resetting.
Reset, but yeah, definitely.
You know? And maybe these guys that are trying to fix the world by 2030, that's the time, the countdown that they told us, look, if you don't clean your shit up, we're going to flood you again and start all over. I mean, it could be, right?
The way things are going, I don't think so.
The way things are going, we're done. Like, if we're being judged, we failed big time.
It's like you can't. It's like beating down a retarded kid. You know it's morally wrong. You can't do it. The poor kid's at a deficit. Why would you do it? So to say that to the masses, it's like they've been mind controlled so severely that you cannot blame them for staying asleep. And at the same time, it's almost like a curse if you wake up in this dream. It's a blessing and a curse at the same time.
I think it's almost a curse. I would rather. I mean, if you think about it. If you're really like dumb and you don't know and you just believe everything, you kind of live a happy life.
It's like the Matrix guy. He's like eating the steak. He's like, you know what? I don't want to remember anything, whatever. And then he eats the steak and he's like, ignorance is bliss. I'm like, shit. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that's similar to you want to live on your knees or
Yeah. Well, me and you, we're cursed then, Scribe, because we know.
Yeah, that's our curse.
That's why we don't sleep good at night.
Yeah, that's why
unless you're in Panama and you could just, you have a couple girlfriends over there. They'll make you sleep good at night.
Oh yeah, but it's like you have those perks and stuff, but when you actually give a shit about humanity, it's fucked up,
So, Scribe, you live in Panama. You rent an apartment or a house, right?
Yeah, I got an apartment.
How is that? What do you got? A 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom? What do you have?
It's like a bachelor's pad. It's a 1 big bedroom.
All right. Now, what is the rent compared to here? Like, what do you pay rent in dollars?
Shit, here. Well, this place I own.
If you had to rent your place, what would it be?
The thing is, real estate here has blown up so much since
right
last 20 years.
But what would it go for right now?
That's where you want. If you want to live in the big city, a nice area.
Where you are.
Yeah, you're looking at. If you're by yourself, maybe like 800 to $1,000 a month to get a nice,
like a real nice place,
like a pretty nice place. Yeah.
Now, if you wanted to live outside the big city in a rural area, what could you find a 1-bedroom apartment for?
Oh, now you're like
400.
Yeah, you cut that in half. Yeah.
All right, I was going to say similar to the DR. I think actually the DR is even cheaper. You can rent. I would say a really nice, not in Santo Domingo, the big city, because that city there is like Manhattan almost. It's like Miami. But outside of that city, you can rent a really nice 1-bedroom apartment for about $400 to $500 a month.
Mm-hmm.
You can rent an apartment on the beach, like a bungalow, like a little beach hut, for like $300 a month on the beach.
Yeah, that's certainly it depends where you want to go. Yeah, they have the low, the medium, the high, depending on where it's located. So
well, the more secure area costs more money.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
but I had a solution to that. Well, you just get yourself 2 or 3 pit bulls, and believe it or not, nobody's coming in your house, man. They ain't. Even a guy, because over there for them to even kill the dogs, it's a headache. So like. If you got like 2, 3 pit bulls on your property, nobody's bothering you.
I remember I had a friend. He where his dad bought a place that wasn't constructed yet. It was like a beach resort place and had a golf course and everything in the center. And he was able to pay like $40,000 before it was built. And then after like 2-3 years after, it's worth over like 800 to almost over $1 million for that same house, 2-story house on the beach.
How crazy is that?
Dude, ridiculous.
What country is that?
That's here in Panama.
Oh, yeah, I believe it.
And while you're not there, they'll send people in to clean it. They'll have people, if they want to rent it, they'll have a manager, administrator there. It's all gated. And so they'll rent it for you daily basis or whatever if you want it, and then clean it up for you. So when you go back and you chill yourself, it's all cleaned up. And yeah, man, it's awesome. It's like shit.
Too bad that we didn't invest in a couple of those, right? We'd be retired right now.
That was a really good investment.
So you work from the computer over there?
Yeah, I have a software business in the States, and I opened another one here on real estate.
Oh, good.
So, yeah, just
you're making a good living, and you're living your lifestyle's a lot better than living over here. No.
Well, that's kind of why I came back. I mean, 9/11 was really the thing that made me like, you know what, fuck this shit. Because when I saw that, and I saw that all of a sudden there's gonna be checkpoints, you know, we're in Nazi Germany and the chemtrails in Austin, Texas.
Oh.
And all that happened, and the Patriot Act and all this other stuff. I was just like, you know what, fuck this shit. You know,
now it ain't strict over there though.
Strict on what?
Like on that, on the plague, the COVID. They weren't strict over there.
They were kind of. I mean, you couldn't be out past curfew, stuff like that. They'd fine you $50 or something.
But you don't need to have it to get a job over there.
What do you mean, like
for the regular people? Forget about you. Like a regular person in Panama that wants to work for a company over there, he don't need to have it, right?
Oh, the thing. Okay, no.
Yeah,
I think
like in America, they've made it like you had to have it in a lot of places.
Yeah, and the military and all that shit. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just mandatory, whatever, and all this shit. And a fucking passport. What is that?
Yeah, but there's no passport over there and all that bullshit.
No, they don't. None of that bullshit. But
and nobody's wearing a mask anymore over there.
You're not required to wear a mask unless you go into like a big grocery store or to a club or some shit like that.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it started out like pretty hardcore. Like you could not go out, you know, at a certain time, whatever. If you were, you're gonna get busted by the cops, whatever. And I was like, damn, you know, I've never seen this kind of organization before here. You know, just for this shit.
Right now, because the people from Panama are more or less poor, right? The majority. Outside of the big city.
That's the thing. There's that poor thing, but somehow the prices here, like for food and stuff, we go to McDonald's, it's more expensive in the States. Like some certain things. But if you get the real food from the good areas that are from here, it's much cheaper.
Right. Even the poor people own their own houses over there, though.
Yeah, I mean, here there's not that much poverty per se compared to other like Colombia or Brazil or some shit that. Here, the thing is, the canal here. It's like there should be no poverty at all. Literally, everyone in this country should be rich. Just through the canal alone, the amount of money they make for that shit. They have 2 canals now. The one for the super tankers. The amount of money they make per day there, they literally don't give that shit to people at all. It's just nuts. I mean,
right. I don't know how America gave that up to them.
There is a permanent clause on this that if we are in a state of war, U.S. can take over anytime they want to.
Yeah.
So right now, if they enter this thing, they can take over back the canal, do whatever the fuck they want. So it's a temporary clause, but they never really got it back.
What's the population of Panama itself? 9 million, 10 million, 8 million?
Oh, it's small, man. It's like total, it's like 4 million now.
Oh, it's a small country then, small population.
Yeah.
So you find more freedom there, though, than in America right now.
This is like, for a while, it's like the U.S. where the Colombian hookers and Venezuelan hookers all try to get here because they're trying to get American dollars and then bring it back to the country, to the family and all that.
Right.
So Panama essentially is almost like trying to break into the U.S., getting past the wall of Mexico. So it's still that way because of the currency, and also there's lucrative.
You only use dollars over there, right?
Yeah, it's all dollars. It's only the only country that's ever used dollars. And Ecuador in the last 5 years converted to dollars. So right now it's only Panama and Ecuador.
So they pay their people with dollars.
Yeah, everything's dollar.
So what does an average person make there, like an average worker?
Oh man, like the minimum wage is like $600 a month. Ridiculous, and they're still charging crazy prices for rent and food and everything else. Yeah,
right. But then people live in like the poorer areas and stuff.
The thing is, you don't really see that many poor people. I remember when I was in Austin and I was on 6th Street and hanging out, partying, whatever, and then we wanted to get some weed. What was it? Hey, let's cross, the interstate, because
Right.
you literally cross I-35 and you're in the hood. I mean, you're talking the hood.
Right.
All of a sudden, it's just like, holy shit, what the fuck's going on? I mean, that level of poverty, seeing crackheads walking around and like normal and all that. Here you'd have to go to a really, really, really bad area to see that kind of shit. And there, it was literally across the fucking highway, right, like 100 foot across the street. And all of a sudden, you're in the fucking hood.
And Panama has like a big city. I mean, it's not a joke. Like they got big skyscrapers and everything.
Yep, they had Trump Tower here and all that shit. Yeah, it's
yeah. Well, that American Army base.
The first Miss Universe in the mid '80s, like that was Trump, and he had it here in Panama. The first one.
Yeah, like I'll show.
He already has businesses here from the past. Bush also has restaurants. He used to have some restaurants here. So all those guys.
You look at this. This ain't no joke. This ain't no third world country.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
even the Panama Papers, where they busted the banks because even Putin had money here, because they have these things called Sociedad Anónimas, where you can pretty much put all your property, all your assets, all your businesses under that one entity, and they can't really fuck with you, and you can do all kinds of business.
So most families own their own cars over there. Like every family has a car.
Yeah, it's funny because driving around big ass cars like it's the U.S.
Right.
And then the roads, aren't exactly the best, but they're wide enough for for a Ford F-150 stuff like that. Like it's normal. Like when you go to Italy or whatever, everyone's on a moped or
a little car like a Fiat
or India or some shit. They're on the So they know their space. Here, it's like, who gives a fuck? We're gonna do it the American way. We don't give a shit. And it's funny because
so it's like in America. It's like kind of in America over there.
Yeah, when the Navy guys would come in, I met a few of the guys at certain events where they're like, they call it the cheap U.S. because everything's still in U.S. dollars, but they can get hookers and whatever,
right,
and blow and all that for super cheap. But it's depends what you want. I mean, but yeah, you
now,
call it.
What language do they speak there? The common. What is their language?
Spanish. It's Spanish. I mean,
but a lot of people speak English there.
Yeah, there's quite a few that speak English.
Like taught in school there, probably.
Yeah, I mean, not fluently. Well, it depends. I mean, most of them are not fluent like that, but they can speak.
Do you speak Spanish?
My Spanish is decent because of my mom.
Right.
But I never got to learn the full thing. But I know enough to. The most Spanish I learned is from my ex-girlfriends, or the girlfriend I'm with right now. She's taught me the most. Because every time I say some shit, she's like, "Oh, you just said that, a fucked up way." I'm like, "What? What do you mean?" She's like, "No, it's this way and this one." Okay.
You know how I was learning Spanish when I lived in the DR? I would watch Spanish cartoons, like for kids, like the little shit that kids talk, and you would watch it because it was simple. It was like easy words, or you watch a show that's in Spanish, but you put the subtitles underneath, and you would listen and see if you can understand. And look, my Spanish was decent. And I could get by if I went out, if I went to a store or I needed something or I needed to tell somebody to take me somewhere or some shit. But sometimes the Dominicans speak such fast Spanish that I couldn't even understand what they were saying. I'd be telling them in Spanish to slow down because I don't understand. But when you leave that country, like I was speaking Spanish every single day. Imagine this accent. Speaking Spanish. How funny is that? It was like Tony Soprano speaking Spanish, right? So once I left that country, because I was speaking Spanish every day because I had to, because nobody speaks English in the DR. Like literally nobody. Like once in a blue moon. I had a girl there that she was my girlfriend and she was good looking, but but I liked her so much because she spoke perfect English and we had conversations. Like, it's hard to be with someone and you can't communicate.
Yeah.
You feel like an idiot when you're trying to tell them something. They don't understand you. It works to your advantage sometimes, though. Because
I don't know how my parents
I don't
know how my parents think. My mom, didn't speak a lick of English. My dad didn't speak a lick of Spanish, but they still got married. They still somehow, she speaks now, but and he speaks a little bit of Spanish, but it's like even, you know.
Well, think about it. Your father couldn't say anything really that would insult your mother too much, right? So anything even if he said something, she didn't understand what the fuck he was talking about, so she never got mad at him. It actually works.
That's probably why you guys' balls wrapped around. No, I'm just.
Yeah, but think about it. Like, it almost actually works. The only communication I had there with a lot of the girls was, let's have sex.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I mean, so it's kind of the perfect marriage, Vigo says. It is. You don't got to talk to them. You know how men are like, they come home, they're like, I don't want to hear your bullshit, you know. Because, you know, a woman, when she stays home and her husband walks through that door, she's got 100 things she wants to tell him. And we don't want to hear it. You know, we just got in the door, man. We just need our own, you know, quiet time. And the woman, they refuse because they speak more than men. So I guess if you don't understand what the fuck they're saying, they ain't going to tell you because they know you don't understand. I think it works out better. It did for me anyway.
Yeah, it depends on the situation. I mean,
yeah.
Generally speaking.
I mean, I was like 41 years old. You know, I had 25-year-old girlfriends. It was great. I didn't look 41. You know, I looked like I was 35, 34. You know, I always look about 10 years younger. Even to this day, I tell people how old I am. They don't believe me. I always used to use that as the rule of thumb. No matter how old I was, if I wasn't looking for a relationship, I just met the girl, like I would always say 10 years younger. So if I was 40, I was 30. If I was 41, I was 31. Mm-hmm. And I never had anybody question me and say, oh, you don't look that, you know. I'll show you a picture. I am about 48, okay? And people don't believe it. They're like, I'm telling you, that's how old I was. Like, I'm 48 in this picture right here. I'm 48 years old. I don't got a wrinkle, even without those glasses. I don't got a wrinkle, really. But I would tell girls I'm 38, and they would believe me. You know, it was no big deal.
I mean, yeah, you could definitely get pulled with that. So that was DR right there? Or what?
Yeah, that was the DR. I was in the DR right there. I mean, like, this picture here, my son is about, let's say, 4. So I'm about 31, 32. When I used to meet girls at that age, I used to tell them I'm 28, 27, you know, 5 years. But as I got older, I started to exaggerate it because if I didn't look old, I didn't care. If I looked old, then I would have told them, you know, maybe I would only lie 5 years. But they don't really care how old you are anyway.
Yeah, the chick I'm with right now, I'm double her age, so I never lied about it. So
if I was having
she actually had to lie to her parents. That's the thing.
Yeah. If I was having a serious relationship with a girl, then I would tell her the truth, you know, because I don't have to lie. But I'm just talking about girls I met in clubs. I was just looking to bring back for a one-night stand, you know.
Yeah.
I had a girl that her parents wanted to marry her off to me, basically. And she was about 20, and I was about 38. And she started, you know, she didn't even know how old I was. And I just, like, didn't want to marry this girl because I knew I was just too old for her. I mean, you know, it's a big difference. 18 years, I'm going to have kids with her and shit. I figured I'd be dead by the time they were grown up. So I never really pursued it. But her parents, man, they were like, they didn't care anyway. They were, like, ready to give it to me because they figured I had a lot of money.
Yeah, you know? That's the one thing that trumps all that. I mean, that's the thing I'm thinking about right now because
they want their kids to have a good life. That's what they're looking to get out of the ghetto.
Yeah.
And you know, it's a different. I'm so jealous. Like I just want to fly to Panama and hang out with you for a couple of weeks. But as far as safety,
yeah.
As far as safety,
there's no issue with that. I mean,
right?
I haven't, unless you go to certain areas that,
like a barrio, they call them. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're in a messed up area, some shit like that, of course, something can happen. But
yeah, but that's
overall, like in the actual city here, like I'm in an area right now where you walk outside. I have the this place called Habanos right next to the Marriott Hotel. Literally walk outside, go there at 7, 8 o'clock at night. There's 9s and 10s walking around, Venezuelans, hot, blonde, you know, crazy bodies, Colombian. Right. And they go to this little fucking outside bar right across the Marriott, and they just stand, or they sit down or they stand, and the guys go there and they order a drink. The drinks are a little more expensive because the chicks are there. So basically, the chick sits down, you buy a drink to be able to talk to her, and if you like her, you walk across the street and you bang her in the Marriott. So I literally live right down the street from that. So in all these areas, it's a banking district, so there's guards in all these areas here. So there's not any kind of.
Now that's why men are more men in those countries, because the women know that they can be replaced in a heartbeat. A flip of the, just get out of my house. They know when they get a guy like you, and they got to work to hold on to you. It's not like they're just gonna, you're gonna put up with their shit.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing right now. But this chick I'm with right now, it's like, man, she's not the same type of stuff, and getting older, and it's like, do I continue on my regular ways of, maximum a year? Because right now it's girl over a year, so for me that's like super long. Usually I'm out 3 to 6 months because that's when I want to get married or some shit.
Yeah,
I mean I bounced, but it's like, damn, this one's a little bit different.
You know what's funny though? The women fight over you in the DR. Like, I've actually had a girlfriend and bumped into my other girlfriend. Right? I was going out, I had 3, 4 girlfriends, and instead of them getting mad at me, they would fight each other over me. It was the sickest shit. And I would love it. I'd be like, ha, 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 imagine this. Women in America fighting over their man? No. The women in America would team up to fuck the man. They would be like, oh, he was going out with you? Oh, really? Let's both fuck him. That's how it is in America.
That's what they want. They want that one guy, just like the stud that fucks all the, So
it's a whole different world, man.
Yeah, but when a woman does it, that's shunned upon. If they're a hoe, they're a hoe. But when a guy does it, it's they see that they see that as a prize.
Yeah.
It's like, now you're the fucking prize. Where if she does it, she's a hoe.
Right. And that's the way we like it. Let's face it, we're men.
Exactly. That's how it is. They know.
Yeah. Hey, that's called living. That's called living the dream. People used to call me when I would be in the DR scribe, and they go, how you doing? I go, I'm living the dream. What are you doing? Jerking off to porn while your wife's in the bedroom giving you a hard time? And they would be like, oh, fuck you. But I go, well, is it true or not? And they go, yeah, you're right. Well, men in America are jerking off looking at porn, and their wives are sleeping in the bedroom because their wife don't even want to fuck them half the time.
Oh, yeah.
This is what men have men have lowered themselves to this level. Like, the day my wife has me jerking off, then that's the day she's got to go.
I mean, you know the guma thing, right? With the so I mean, there's a reason why they all have gumas. I mean, they're all married, they all have the gumas there. It's like, well, what's that about? It's like, that's what that's about. Was when a man always has to be able to relax and unleash all his, all the bullshit, and be able to be with other women because that's his natural state. But when he's stuck with one woman that is going to fence him off from the pussy and everything else, that dude cannot function. He's going to have to jerk off somewhere. That's why they're jerking off while she's sleeping, because they got to release that shit somewhere, right? So that's not the natural order. So the Italian mafia, they know what's up. You have to have a guma. You have to have these things in place, or you go fucking nuts.
Yep. So, Vigo, you want to hear me speak Spanish? That's going to cost you a little. I got my PayPal account up there. No, I'm only kidding. I'll use a line. It was one of my favorite lines that I would tell somebody. I would tell them, shut the fuck up. So, here we go. Ready? Cállate la fucking boca. Okay? And that's how I would tell them to shut the fuck up. I love telling people that because when you do it real, I could say it real quick too, but.
That's a good one. You said it good, man. Because you mixed in the English with the Spanish, and they do mix in the English. They'll say whatever, fucking whatever. Yeah, cállate la fucking boca or something like that. Yeah.
I used to do it. Cállate la fucking boca. And they'd be like, ¿Qué? ¿Tu hablas español? Sí, marigón.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's fucked up. Yeah.
Oh, I was. You want dirty, man? Woo! I would blow that shit up.
Dirty. Dude. I can tell, man, you got it, because it's similar here, that type of shit. Like,
if there wasn't women on this show right now, like listening, I would tell you something that would make you laugh, Scribe, but I probably would have to tell you one day, like, when you end the show and you go in the backstage, I would tell you a couple of things. I just can't say it because there's ladies in here. I don't want to, but some shit that would make you just fall off your chair.
Yeah, they got some funny shit.
Yeah, I got some real funny shit, but it's only for men to hear.
Yeah.
And I don't even want it recorded.
All right, man. Let's set up a private stream and see what's up, man. Be like,
yeah, we gotta have like a, when you like end the broadcast and like you end up in the backstage, so it's not being recorded. Next time that happens, I'll let you know. I'll tell you.
All right, cool, bro.
I'm sure you got some war stories. But I mean, I think we'll end this, right? I mean, we're running out of shit to talk about.
We're right at 3 hours, so perfect time to end it.
Yeah.
Man.
So, you got any last things you want to tell anybody out there?
Man, all these topics we're going over, man. You ain't gonna see this shit anywhere, right? You got the pop stream here. He's, and we got the wisdom radio. So we're working in this in collaboration to uncover what's going on, and we talk about stuff that most people ain't gonna talk about, and So in the future, man, I think we're gonna get to a level where we're gonna uncover more stuff, and it's gonna be more digestible to be able to tell the people, look, this is how these things are going on, because you've already seen how many people are asleep. So,
oh yeah,
definitely, man, keep the good fight up, bro. You're doing it.
Yep. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and remember, Alex Jones ain't got nothing on me. He's a chill, but I want to just tell everybody, may the Almighty God bless you and your children. And Pops out.
Take care, bro. Later.
Take it easy.